At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Really love this brand because first off, the products are quality. I have amazing hydration. You guys can see the shine. You guys can see the definition.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Tuesday is going well. It is raining here in Atlanta. It is raining here in Atlanta, Georgia, guys. Everyone, hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I need a different microphone. I might go with because I like to keep my microphone hidden, but then the sound isn't the best. Let me try something. Listen, if you're in the chat room, press 1 for this sound or 2 for this sound. Does this sound better? Does this sound better? Let me know. So I got like 3 microphones. I've been testing different microphones out, and I'm just not a big fan of this one. Somebody said 1. Okay, let me go back to it. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. All right, so we're back. So hit the like button. Somebody said 2. Somebody said check 1. Okay, we're back. Everyone, please hit the like button. And please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a couple of announcements before we jump into the topic. We are rolling to Nigeria. Senegal is full. That trip is filled. So we are now going to move on to Nigeria. We got 3 spots left. Nigeria for the Osun Festival Tour. Again, Nigeria for the Osun Festival Tour. That's going to be August 4th to the 13th. August 4th to the 13th. Please come and join us in Nigeria for the Osun Festival. Come and have an excellent time, y'all. Come and have an excellent time, y'all. Also, we are rolling to Tanzania, September 22nd through October 1st, September 22nd through October 1st for Safari Blue in Tanzania. Come and join us. We'd love to have you. Love to have you all. We are going to have an excellent time. It's $4,700, includes flights, international flight. So you just have to meet us in New York. That's for both trips. And that includes the international flight, lodging, breakfast and lunch, transportation. That's what's included. So come and join us in Nigeria and come and join us in Zanzibar. Visit danfo.africa, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. It's $4,700, man. But visit danfo.africa. I'll put the link in the chat room. Visit danfo.africa to learn more. Also, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, please click on the documentary link. We'll greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into today's topic. So number one, let me go ahead. Who's calling me? Stop calling me. Here we go. I gotta disconnect the my iPhone, I guess, from the disconnect my iPhone from my Mac, because when people call, I get interrupted. So let's first, I'm gonna put Professor Small's the link to the actual petition. I'm gonna put it in the chat room. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it in the chat room. And if you guys want to sign it, hey, go for it. We've actually discussed what's going on in Ghana in regards to the at El Mina Castle. So they have opened up a restaurant at El Mina. Here we go, right here. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. They have opened up. Here we go. Let me put this in chat room. They have opened up a restaurant at El Mina Castle, which is a slave dungeon in Accra, Ghana. And a lot of people are upset. Number one of the business partners, so it's a hospitality group who owns a number of restaurants and I think a lodge in Cape Coast. And one of the partners are white. So there are a lot of people who are upset in regards to the restaurant being opened up at El Mina Castle, because the restaurant is partly owned by a white person. So some people are upset. Me personally, I look at it, if people are bringing in opportunities for people to work and create jobs and opportunities for the locals, why not? So when we go to Senegal in May, we're going to visit Goree Island. And on Goree Island, which is a point of no return, they have restaurants, they have shops, they have hotels or hostels. They have everything there. So I'm under the impression that Ghana wants to do something similar. I've been to El Mina Castle before. But again, on Goree Island, right by the point of no return, I mean, there's shops, there's a little bit of everything. So maybe Ghana is doing something similar. But this is the reality when it comes to the slave dungeons. All right. They are sacred to us as the diaspora, but to the local African, or in this case, the local Ghanaian, they don't view them as sacred. Let me repeat. They might be sacred to us as a diaspora, but to the local Ghanaian in El Mina or Cape Coast, they don't view them as sacred. Number two, the majority of the tourism revenue that is brought in at these slave dungeons comes from white tourists. Yeah, let me repeat. The majority of people who visit these sites are European. They're white folks, not the diaspora. In fact, the majority of tourism dollars that comes into Africa, I'm going to bet, if I was a betting man, that it's coming from Europe, from white people, not the black diaspora. That's just the reality. So even though the black diaspora is upset and we feel offended because the majority of revenue that's coming into that castle is coming from white people, they're going to cater to white people. They are going to cater to the people who bring in the most amount of revenue. And it just happens to be white people. So this is the suggestion I made. Now, petitions are great. Okay, I get it. You want to get people's attention. But when we had this conversation before, I said, how about the diaspora create a nonprofit organization? After that it's created, we approach, now I could be wrong. It might already be done. I don't know. No, we can approach the director of tourism, monuments and relics or whatnot and say, hey, look, we want a seat at the table when it comes to any decisions that are made at these sites because they're sacred to us. How much is it going to cost? What's the dollar amount that we need to raise where we could control Mina Castle? In my honest opinion, that's what needs to be done. If you ask me, because again, if the majority of revenues coming from Europeans or is coming from white people, again, the majority of revenue at these slave dungeons, Goree Island. Listen, when I go to Goree Island, when I go to Mina Castle, me being a member of the Black diaspora, I am the minority. It's majority white people and it's majority locals who are selling items. And, you know, do you want a wristband with your name on it? But it's predominantly white people who are bringing in the majority of revenue at these sites. So, of course, opening up a restaurant is going to cater to white people. They weren't thinking about the Black descendant of slaves where our ancestors were tortured, and they weren't thinking about that. It's just the reality. So how you fix that, again, if you're serious, or if you just want to yell and scream, is show up to the director of tourism or monuments and relics with a checkbook and say, how much is this going to cost for us to maintain it as the Black diaspora? I mean, that's it. If you, my personal opinion. Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, please click on the link. But that's my stance on it. You might disagree. I respect Professor Small. He's an elder. But you're right. If this restaurant is providing jobs for the locals, who are we to tell? I mean, how can we just say remove it? The average Ghanaian, I mean, just the average whoever, they are focused on feeding their families. So you remove it. Are these locals who are actually working at the restaurant, are you going to give them jobs? If you're not in position to hire these people, again, you got to come up with some type of strategy. That's my opinion. Again, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in, please click on the link. Oh, if you guys don't know, in fact, I'll pull it up real quick. Give me a second. Listen, if you want the restaurant removed, click on the link, call in and tell me why. If you want the restaurant removed, call in and tell me why. want to share this real quick. Let's see here. So, ECOWAS removed the sanctions against Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad. I've seen that there's a news clip on it yet, but I don't see one. But it's out there. All right. If you listen, links in the chat room. If you want the restaurant replaced, click on the link, and you're more than welcome to join the conversation. I'm sorry. Okay, stop, y'all. Stop. I'm sorry. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I'm sorry. I said Chad. Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I'm sorry. There was a dude on here mad, but he sat down and ate the chicken at that place. Oh, you're talking about Kofi. You're talking about Kofi. Yeah, he was upset, but he ate there. Because there's really, well, I haven't been to Cape Coast in years. Last time I was in Cape Coast, I think it was 2017, maybe. So last time I was there, there weren't really. Go ahead, Delroy.
Yeah, I see Go Black is saying it's not sacred, is a memorial. But it's not, to me, it's not the building itself. It's what happened in the building. That's sacred. Not the building. The building is not sacred. It's what happened inside the building that is sacred. Me personally, I don't want no restaurant there. Period. I don't think any, black or white, I don't care what it is. And if it was up to me, I wouldn't allow no white person to go in there at all, because they don't understand and they don't want to understand. They're just doing it outside of guilt. And that's my personal take on it. I don't care what anyone says.
Okay. All right. The reality is anybody could visit as long as they pay their entry fee.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, if it was up to me, no white folks would be allowed to enter that building.
Okay. Now, what about as far as revenue and upkeep? Because, like I said, the majority of revenue is coming from white people.
All right. Well, what
would you do to?
What are they collecting taxes for? Taxes to this is it. You see, they have it as a museum. It shouldn't be a museum. All right. If they want to build a slave museum, they go build a building someplace else that nothing happened in there. They still have blood stains. They have feces stains in there. No white folks should be allowed to walk in there. They could use tax. It could be part of the tax revenue that they use to maintain this particular building.
Yeah, but I don't think as far as the amount of taxes that are collected, I don't think it will go towards that dungeon.
You mean they don't want to use it there? That's, say that they don't want to use it there. But I mean that's my take on it, Dynasty. I'm not gonna change my mind. That is my take on it. No one, and it is sacred. Against what Go Black said, is secret because of what happened in there, not the building itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the purpose of it is to bring in revenue. So
I understand what the Ghanaian government is doing. I understand it, but I personally don't think it's right. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And as far as the tourist dollars, yeah, a lot of it is definitely the white people, but black people, as far as Ghana is concerned, bringing a lot of black tourist dollars too.
Yeah, I think a lot of black tourist dollars go, but the majority of the revenue is coming from non-black people as far as tourism.
Mhm. Yeah, but I don't see that in Ghana though, bro. As
They,
far as
they,
white
they,
people are
they,
not all over like South Africa, Tanzania, and all those places.
you
There's
have
a
no,
lot of black people there, man.
don't worry, you have no idea.
Well,
Trust me.
we will see.
Now, when it comes to Dirty December, yeah, I think we got Dirty December on lock. But outside of that, every other
And I mean in Ghana's history, they made the most money in 1 year from black people.
no, but you have to understand during Dirty December, there were still a lot of white people there. I was in Ghana during Dirty December. I think this was 2019. Oh, no,
Mhm.
no. Was it 2019? It might have been 2019. Right
Yeah, that's the year. That's the
right
year.
before
That's the year of
COVID.
return.
Yeah, right before COVID. Like
Yeah,
I was
they
there.
made about almost $1 billion that year.
There were a lot of white people there. Like at my hotel, there was a lot of white people at the hotel. A
Yeah,
lot.
I'm not saying no, but in Ghana's case, there's a lot of black dollars flowing through that place. A lot, a lot, a lot. Not only from African Americans, from the Caribbean and so forth and so on. A lot flow through that place.
Hold
Now I
on,
can't speak for other places though.
no, I'm trying to find. Give me this. Let's see here. They just announced they're lifting the sanctions off of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. ECOWAS. I'm trying to find the.
Yeah, they did that last week.
Oh, it was last week?
Yeah, they did. They lifted.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I just got the
They
message.
they kept they did that last week. They kept the sanction on 11 individuals, including the president.
Why do they keep it on the president?
I don't know, bro. I guess they're trying to save face. I don't know. It really doesn't mean anything, but they kept it on individuals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But they had no choice. They eventually had to live. And now that they have a revolutionary government in Senegal,
right?
He already told France, listen, it's not going to be business as usual. That was part of his speech. It's not going to be business as usual. So that's going to make a big difference.
I got to listen to the speech. That's what he said.
Yeah, it says not going to be business as usual. We want to be left alone. Africa want to be alone. The youth is not going to be able to put up with it anymore. Yeah, there's a young dude. He's 44, boy. He look like 30. He look young. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here we go. No, that's not it. Well, that's good. That's good, guys. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, click on the link. If not, we'll go ahead and.
I would like to hear from Go Black. Should call in and explain his position.
Yeah, Go Black. Call in, Go Black. I mean, anybody, guys. Listen, this is the open platform for everybody. If you want to call in. Link is in the chat room. But yeah, Go Black. Call in if you want to.
Yeah. Explain. I mean, I understand what he's saying, but I'm gonna keep my position. I just think it's a sacred place because of what happened inside. They would never do this at like a Holocaust place, right? Not a museum, not a Holocaust museum. That's different. But a place where actually all the hanging, the killings, and everything actually happened. That's secret to them. And nobody dare better not. You know what would happen. I don't have to explain what would happen.
Yeah, but if you look at the Holocaust, in fact, I looked this up last time we discussed this. There's a Holocaust survivor who started a nonprofit, and I think 45% of the revenue for the museum comes from his nonprofit. So again, I just
I agree with that. I agree with that, and we could have
it's like 30% or 35. It was a lot.
Right. I have no problem with that. Because, like I said, a museum is different, but the Ghana government see this as a museum. What you gonna do? You can't, they see it as a museum.
Well, the Holocaust is in Ostrich. That's a museum now, isn't it? It's a museum
Where?
in Ostrich. The Holocaust. It's a museum.
Nah, not an actual place where it happened.
Yeah, it's a museum now.
And they have
I don't think they have a restaurant. They have a restaurant across the street, but I don't think
right,
they have a restaurant.
right. That's what I mean, Dynast. If the restaurant was up the block, you see what I'm saying? Separate. And I hear that they use some kind of, I have to check this out more. Some kind of symbol, some red with blacks. Red is like representing the blood. Something that I heard of it. I don't know how true it is.
Well, it was called Freedom Restaurant, but I think they changed the name of it.
They changed the name of it? Okay.
Yeah.
You see? Well, I
think they did. I think.
Yeah. I could understand what Professor Small is saying. This is I know Professor Small, not personally, but I met him. I spoke with him, and he's a honorable person, and I could see what he's saying, and understand what he's saying and how he feel. And the government know Professor Small. I'm gonna see what comes of it. Right, I understand what you're saying too. If we don't want A, B, and C, to desecrate what we see as sacred to us, yeah, we need to spend some money. I agree with you with that.
So, guys, links in the chat room if you want to call in. Click on the link. If not, we'll close. I'm trying to find this news article on news story on ECOWAS.
Yeah, it's all over. It should be all over the internet. Can't see where I find it. It was a big press relief. Yeah, it was a big press relief. That the representative of ECOWAS, he quoted why they had to lift the sanction. Both people are suffering and stuff like that. Sanction was ridiculous in the first place, and there was just doing it because of France.
Listen, guys, I'm sorry. This is over a month ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been a while now.
Yeah, what?
The economic community of West African states that has now decided.
Guys, where have I been?
Yeah, it's been a while now, Dynast. I'm sure.
I thought this just happened today.
No, bro. No, man. They lifted and kept it on individuals.
Okay.
Because they're forcing the president to release the temporary president to release the current president.
Okay. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I just found out.
Decision was made during an extraordinary summit in Abuja on Saturday, as well as the Economic Community of West African States that has now decided to lift some sanctions on Niger Republic, as well as Mali and Guinea. Well, the decision was made during an extraordinary summit in Abuja on Saturday, where the peace, political, and the security situation in the ECOWAS sub-region was discussed. Although the political and targeted sanctions on the Niger Republic remain in place, some financial and economic sanctions on Guinea have also been lifted, as well as other sanctions on Mali. Well, following the military coup that took place in Niger on July the 26th, 2023, which resulted in the ousting of President Mohamed Bazoum, ECOWAS imposed several sanctions on the country. Well, during Saturday's emergency summit, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Umar Aliyu Toure, listed some of the sanctions that have now been lifted, and they include the reopening of land and air borders between all ECOWAS countries, as well as Niger Republic, which allows which will now allow commercial flights to and from Niger Republic, as well as resuming commercial and financial transactions between ECOWAS member states and Niger Republic. And there's also the lifting of the earlier sanctions that had frozen all service transactions, including utility services. Moreover, other sanctions on Niger have also been lifted, and these are the unfreezing of assets of Niger Republic in all ECOWAS central banks, the unfreezing of assets of Niger and state enterprises, as well as parastatals and commercial banks, lifting the suspension of Niger Republic from all financial assistance and transactions with financial institutions, as well as lifting the travel bans on the officials, the military officials, and their families involved in the coup attempt that occurred in Niger in July last year. Well, from what we see, there are a long list of sanctions being lifted, but ECOWAS is specific that these sanctions have nothing to do with the political as well as other targeted sanctions which it had already imposed on Niger Republic. According to ECOWAS, these sanctions still stands. But a particular commentary stood out for me, Ibrahim, and that was that ECOWAS is wooing these countries, Mali, Niger, Guinea, inclusive, as well as there's one other country, Mali, Niger, Guinea, and Niger, Mali, Niger, Guinea. These three countries stand out, but ECOWAS is saying now that it is all in a bid to ensure, especially at this time of the coming Ramadan and the ongoing Lenten season, fasting and all of that, is all about the social political impact of the existing bans, or the hitherto existing bans on the citizenry.
Yeah, that's right. Those three countries that decided that were sanctioned due to the military junta that took over the political reins of the country, they represent about 17.4% of the 425 million population of the entire ECOWAS region, and the economic integration and all of the things, and the fact that they also collaborate to fight terrorism, the multinational joint task force, and the fact that, just like they said, Ramadan is close by, just about let's say a week or less than 2 weeks, and then the Lenten period that is also that is being observed. So they felt they're putting the people first, as against let's talk as against the political impact or impact that it has on the region. So I would say it's a good development, but all the same, they should not make it look like junta or coup is fashionable, because at the end of the day, some others are already saying that it looks like the coupies are winning. They're winning because they stood firm, by their position that we are not going to relinquish power until we do it in our own terms. And we know that coupists, anywhere, anyhow, any day, they are not fashionable, but all the same, they still want to maintain their stranglehold of their countries, and they're already coming together. The Sahelian region already coming together to form their own alliance and to also do business among themselves. But this has been affecting the airspace, has been affecting the economic integration, and people that are living across the borders, they are also reading from the impact of the sanctions that is being imposed by ECOWAS on Niger. But all the same, I mean, on all of this, on these three countries. But all the same, it's very important that Nigerians and all other citizens within the ECOWAS region need to understand that what is to be done, or what is worth doing at all, is worth doing well. So they should also advocate the return up to democracy,
as soon as possible.
Yeah, of these three countries, because if that is allowed to stand, then it can also spill over to all other countries.
Right. And of course, the sanctions were lifted on Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. Guinea was also, affected in this, or included in this reprieve that ECOWAS granted this country. So they're about four in number. And you've made some instructive points. One of which is that ECOWAS should not be seen to be weak, and it shouldn't be seen that military takeover is the next most fashionable thing, as we see. Of course, it also gives one a cause for concern and perhaps reappraisal when you look at what is prompting this kind of forceful takeovers, intervention.
Almighty Judah, go ahead. Almighty
Oh
Judah.
yes, yeah, Dynas. Um, are you talking about what is happening in Ghana or what is happening in Niger and Mali? Is that what the
Well, we were
topic
talking
is?
about what was going on in Ghana as far as the slave dungeon and the restaurant there. So I'm guessing since your name is Almighty Judah, you're a Hebrew Israelite.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm a Bantu Israelite. So
Okay, whatever that means. What happened? What happened to the? Well, you wouldn't know. You're a Bantu Israelite. Okay, all right. Well, all right, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Teach his own. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, what is happening in Ghana? The women selling stuff at the dungeon. I don't think telling them to move away from that particular area, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, you have to create a sub, you have to create an environment that is conducive for them to sell their stuff instead of just telling them to move. That is uncalled for. So it's not like the ladies that went over there and they were doing lap dance or something over to in these places. These ladies are just selling their food stuff. If they have created a market or built a market, I wish this guy would have built a market for the ladies. And then that would have been a nice topic. But just telling them to move away from that area and stop selling just doesn't make sense at all.
No,
We
so
always have to. Yeah,
When
go ahead.
when
Sorry.
what is that? What
Huh?
when did that happen? Or
no, Almighty Judah. We're
we
talking. So
talking
there's
about
a restaurant there,
talking
not
about
the
restaurant.
actual ladies that are selling, and the guys who are selling little souvenirs in front of there.
Not talking about that.
We were discussing the actual restaurant that's there.
Oh, okay. Is the restaurant inside the dungeon or?
It's on the
On the
premise. It's
on
on
the
the
premises.
premises.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on the premises. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you have a restaurant on the premise, and then and people, so he wants people not to sell food in that premise. It's just. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people. I mean, in Africa, like people need money, man. People live on basic, stuff. Cannot tell someone not to sell somewhere. I mean, if there's a place where they can sell their food, then that's fine. Uh, these are things that are becoming artifacts. Place where people go there to, and admire. But still, in an African communities, people are also going there. When they go hungry, they need something to eat, so they have people selling there. So, for me, I believe it's a good thing. But I want to go to what is happening in this ECOWAS stuff between Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. I think what ECOWAS is actually doing now, I think it's a political bluff. They want to bluff, they want to strengthen their might. They think they can do it for Mali, they think they can do it for Burkina Faso, they think they can do it for Niger. But I think this is a failure, a big failure, if you ask me. Um, when they sanction these countries did not actually come down on their knees and beg them for removing the sanctions. They actually did not even uh, uh, believe that they are actually part of ECOWAS. So ECOWAS did not really interest them because they actually identified the problems of what ECOWAS was doing, who ECOWAS was conniving with, what ECOWAS countries that were actually taking monies from the Europeans in the ECOWAS community to sponsor a lot of different things. And these countries, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, actually did not want that. So they were breaking away from a colonized ECOWAS community controlled by the Europeans and stuff. And we Africans that are fighting against Europeans, and you have a union called ECOWAS that have been have been infiltrated by these Europeans, and they are controlling it using Africans. Then when other Africans like Nigerians, Malians have realized that this is what is happening, they opted out, despite the fact that there was a coup d'etat that I realized it was a good thing because their presidents that were also ruling these countries were not ruling for their own people. They were ruling for the Europeans, and all the things that they had in their own country was controlled by the Europeans. So when these coup leaders took over, the African countries, Nigerians, and all these countries will have looked up to these countries and say, yes, we condone with what is going on in your country, and we accept it. Instead of cutting down electricity, I was speaking to a friend in Niger who told me that almost 99 people died in a hospital when Nigeria cut down electricity in Niger. I mean, doing this kind of stuff to your own fellow Africans just doesn't make sense at all. So, opening the borders and telling them now they can come into ECOWAS just doesn't make sense after when you have not realized that you cut them electricity, you did this to their economy. I mean, most of their economy weakened, after when ECOWAS put an embargo on them. So most of them suffered. A lot of people died in the hospital. There were food shortages in these places because border was shut down. I mean, a lot of things, man. So it was, of their own strongness that they decided to come together, create a union called the AES, an alliance between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to strengthen, strengthen their neighborhood, strengthen the might, strengthen, creating an alliance where each country could actually, provide food or provide some kind of system. If you have electricity, share it to us, that communal lifestyle within these countries, because they realize that these other African countries did not have that mindset of, helping them out. So they create their own alliance. Now in the process, they have one of the strongest military group in that area where they are fighting the terrorist group in these countries. And they are also talking about creating a power plant. I think they want to go, what is this, solar? They want to
Nuclear,
plant a
nuclear
solar.
plant
Yeah, yeah,
also.
nuclear. They want to build one of the biggest nuclear power plant, I think, in Mali, uh, close to the Sahara Desert. So this is gonna, you know, help them out. And let not mistaken too, it's just of we just had a president in Senegal, that the new guy that won election. So Macky Sall is out of Senegal. So Macky Sall was one of those guys that was conniving with French presidents and stuff like that. Now we have a young
Almighty
guy
Judah,
who,
Almighty Judah, real quick. When it comes to Macky Sall, why do you think he's trying to pull that stunt as far as delaying elections? That just didn't make any sense.
yeah. He did that because the guy that was supposed to be the main opposition party, they call him Sonko. All the youth were rioting behind him, so he has put him in jail several times, just to accuse him of rape and all these other things. So every time he goes to jail, all Senegalese come out and they riot, say this is the guy that we want him to be the next president of Senegal. So, it's because of these issues that he decided to postpone the election in February, I think the 12th, because their election was supposed to be on the 15th of February. So he postponed it to December. But when he did that, the constitution, because the constitution is actually working in Senegal, they say no, this cannot happen. You cannot, as a president, just decide to postpone the election all the way to December this year. So they decided to call the election in March. And when they called the election in March, this guy that they call Sonko was supposed to be the main opposition leader. They say because he has court cases, he cannot be on the limelight as running for president. So he used his secretary. This is the second guy in command who actually won this election. He's just 44 years old, with two wives, and I think it's a great thing. And one of their manifesto is talking about getting away from the French CFA, creating their own Senegalese currency, and trying to work deals with energy plants and a whole lot of different things that will benefit Senegal. And looking at this right now, I believe that this guy will also open the border and open a coastline between Mali and Senegal, because Macky Sall decided to block that borderline between Mali and Senegal. So it
Oh,
was, in such a way
that's
where Malians were instead trying to get, means with Mauritania and Morocco. But with this guy coming in and talking about how he want to work with his neighbors and stuff like that, creating their own currency, I'm thinking that the currency that they might create might end up being one of the currency that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are also gonna accept. So, someone wanna say something? Let me just.
yeah. I think Senegal is probably now going to join the alliance. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's not
And
about joining, but maybe just creating some kind of a safe haven, just creating like opening back the borders, and yeah, you
yeah,
never
yeah, I
know.
know that.
So
I know the border is definitely going to be open. I'm just thinking that it's going to be a good possibility that they're going to also join the alliance. And this is the reason why ECOWAS had to give in. They gave in because they wanted to stop the bleeding. Because even Chad was saying they wanted to join the alliance, and they're going to get away from ECOWAS, right? So ECOWAS had to
no,
stop the
no,
bleeding.
no, no. What are you talking about? Chad is not in the ECOWAS. ECOWAS doesn't control Chad. Chad is
No,
in the ECAS, Economic Community of Central African State. Yeah,
so
Chad is
isn't that
not
part?
in the
Isn't that
ECOWAS.
part of the? Were they part of the alliance with Niger before?
They were in this. They call it the Sahel, the 5 countries in the Sahel, the Cinq
Right. So they were they were
G5
they were
Sahel.
part of that.
Yeah, but when
But
the former president of Chad was killed in the gun battle, Idris Deby, and all this coup d'état happened, these countries break away from the G5 Sahel, so it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, go ahead.
but aren't they thinking of joining the Sahel? Those three countries now.
No, no, because this guy that they call Idris Deby Jr. is still considered a spy. Malians and Niger do not even trust him. He's a younger guy who killed his cousin a few days ago, because he thought his cousin was gonna take him out of power. So he shot his cousin and said it was some kind of a gun battle. So he's also in the midst of being overthrown in Chad. So he's not stable. He fluctuates from one European country to another. So I don't think Malians and Niger and Burkina Faso are actually gonna trust him.
So eventually he'll probably get overthrown, and Chad can move on. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, Chad is not gonna move on. I'm from Cameroon, and Cameroon shares border with Chad. The situation in Chad is, they have a presidential election that is coming in. I think in March, if I'm not mistaken, or April. So that presidential election, if K is not taking that part of Chad, and we go into chaos. And just to mention that Chad shares border with Sudan, and Sudan is still in chaos. So most of the refugees that are leaving Sudan are entering into Chad. And if care is not taken, if Chad also breaks down, it means that a landmass of Chad shares border with Nigeria and Cameroon, that whole area in Niger could also go into some kind of a chaotic movement. Because when they talk of military might in Africa, you cannot talk about military might in Africa without talking of Chad. They have one of the biggest military in Africa, especially when it comes to the Sahel Desert. They are good, and so.
And is France still there? France military still there?
Oh yeah, yeah. France military is still there. France controls certain part of Chad, and that's why it's just crazy. That's why most of these alliance, they don't want to align with Chad, because they are perplexed. They're in the middle. They don't know what they want. They are also in the Economic Community of Central African State, which Cameroon is part of, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Congo, and all these other countries, Central African Republic as well. So, yeah.
And the Central African Republic, are they in the same boat or realm as how Chad is?
Oh yeah, Central African Republic was at one time in a deep hole, but they decided to join Russia, and I think their country is getting a little stable, if you ask me, but not really stable. Like the whole of that region, especially Central African region, is of chaos. You have Chad, Central African Republic, Congo, and all these other countries. It's just they are refugees from one part of these countries to another. So, and this is actually hold or stopping, or it's an impediment in terms of economic growth. A lot of challenges,
Okay.
and I think Central African Republic might not. It would take them a long time to actually stand on their feet, but it's a good place. They have one of the biggest landmass in Africa with a lot of vegetation. Is a place where if Africans really exploit and put agriculture in it, that landmass can feed the whole Africa instead of African crying of food insecurity. These are countries that if they were stable, they could become like an agricultural zone for potatoes and all these other things.
Okay, I see. All righty.
Al, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, good evening, Brother Dynast.
Peace.
Judeo Almighty, I'm glad my brother Dynasty let you back on, but I can see why, because you've been doing a lot of practice, haven't you? Yeah, nice to
A lot of who?
see you. Yeah, basically, I just hop in, just to, give my own little bits. But yeah, Judah is kind of right. I don't know about, the geographical, the map, where is Central Africa, where is West Africa, because it's quite tricky where Cameroon and Chad is. You can call it Central or West Africa. But yeah, you're right, Judah. Chad is one of the most important territory in the Sahel. If, like, for example, Sudan was to fall down now, the next door will be Chad, and if Chad goes, the whole West Africa will go. It's the last defense, it's the last defensive wall that we have in the region. Absolutely, and at the same time, Cameroon is a basket of the continent. Really, Cameroon is actually a very fertile land. I don't know why you dusty niggas like you do there in America are not doing something about it. Bring some agricultural machinery. Bring dynasty to Cameroon for that matter. Maybe you should be the pathway to Cameroon for my brother Dynasty. Dynasty, been to Cameroon before?
I have not. No, not yet.
I think it's a place you should explore. Honestly, I think there's a lot of potential in that country.
Let me read some of these super chats. Give me 20 seconds. Shout out to Mimi Roberts. Thank you for the $10 holla. Flexed up. Thank you for the $1.99 holla. All gas, no brakes. Thank you for the $4.99 holla. All right, go ahead, Al.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Cameroon is a very great country. Regardless. I mean, even though they have a technocrat that don't live in the country, just abandon it and sit in abroad. But he said whatever he's doing, it seems to work out for the people. A part of the Amazonia, fighting over, languages, the English side and the French side. But I mean, the election in Senegal is for the sub-region. I mean, if we look at the sub-region at the moment, all military leaders. Before this election in Senegal, I thought, to be honest with you, democracy is dead. But for the first time, there's a hope to say, yeah, democracy is coming back to the continent, to the sub-region. But are we? Is it going to be the trend? I mean, is other countries going to follow, or is it basically is military coup the end? Is it the end of military coup in West Africa now? Things like that. I'm actually asking myself. But I feel like we need to stay away from military coups. Keep choosing our leaders. Eventually, we'll get the right ones. And investment. Bring people coming in, in the continent and invest. This military guy, they will only do one thing: is scared investors. Anyway, you have military coups every so many years, investors are not going to come in there. You can take my word for it. Right, Delroy? I know you're one of those Pan-African that think military coup is the way to go forward.
Hey, shout out to
Picking up.
Coach Donnie B for the $50 holler. Thank you for the super chat, brother. All right, go ahead.
Military so-called coup is necessary sometimes. You have no choice but to do it. You just cannot keep someone in power that's aligned with an enemy. It just can't work. If you're going to keep that up, you have to be removed by force
Some
or
of those
whatever
people,
else.
yeah, but some of these guys that you think are aligned with the people, they are not. They're just there as another puppet of the enemy.
Well, same. Well, it's align. That's an alignment, and if the people vote to try to remove him and remove whoever, and the vote is rigged, and who you vote for, that they cheated, and they still there. Nah, they have to be removed by force.
The thing is, the problem is, Delroy, right? In Africa, people, if whoever they support, if that person don't win, the election is rigged. All of a sudden, it's rigged. It's the same thing that we have in Nigeria. We know for a fact that the guy that is in power now, he won the election. But the last time I was here, some guy came on, he was angry, he said, Peter Obi won the election. I am a big fan of Peter Obi, and I hope he become a president of Nigeria one day. But he did not win the election. And also in Sierra Leone, the same thing. People are still crying over the election results.
Yeah, I'm definitely not referring to Nigeria or Sierra Leone, but there's some distinct
examples, right? Because when election happen, the opposition are not happy about the results. What they tend to do, they tend to align with their people and try to align with the military and say, okay, we're not happy with the results, so let's work with certain faction of the military, that's already hungry, and take power by force. And by doing that, you're actually dragging the country backward because investors don't invest in a
forget about the investors. The investors, these foreign investors, is not interested in what happened in the country or even what happened to the normal person. Their bottom line is money and money only. In the case of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, this is years and years and years of buildup. It just came just like that. This is years and years of France having total control of the area. So those people had to be removed. Thomas Sankara had to do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? They had to be removed. So in some cases, it's necessary. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Not all cases. In some cases, it's necessary.
Right. But the reality is, the military coups, all these countries, the military coup happen for different reasons. But however, they kind of make it look like it happened for the same reason. Because when you look into the details, the reason why, for example, the military coup happened in Mali is for insecurity. The one in Burkina Faso was for insecurity, but they make it look like it's a Pan-African movement, right?
No. Let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that how let's take Burkina Faso for example. Seeing that how this young man, his movement and what he's actually doing now, you really think he's not for the people? Just on your outside observance.
He is trying his best, but do you think if it was a civilian leader that was there, do you think he wouldn't be doing the same thing?
I think a civilian leader who, like for instance, this young brother that just got elected in Senegal, right?
Yeah.
You could tell. We don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but you could tell by his speech that he's given so far, right? That he means, right? That he's for the people and he's going to do and live right by the people. That's fine, right? Tory is doing the same exact thing.
More impact than Macky Sall, the previous president.
Say it again.
Do you think he will be more impactful than the previous president?
Yes, I do.
Because Delroy, you can say what you want about Macky Sall. He did a lot of. He really did a great job as far as improving the infrastructure of Senegal.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not talking about that. Dynast. I'm talking about the control that he allowed France to have over him and other people in the region. That's what I'm talking about. He was one of the first one to jump on the bandwagon. Him and that other fool from Ivory Coast. Oh yeah, let's go attack Niger because of what happened. Right? Nah, that's what I mean. Right? I mean, Senegal is doing well, but it's not doing that well. Every single day, somebody's is drowning in the ocean trying to get to France or wherever else.
Well, let me tell you one thing, brother. You see those puppet countries that you just named? I used to be the one also bashing Ivory Coast, right? Senegal and Ivory Coast, they always get the brunt, the old people always, bashing them in West Africa. Oh, they puppet, they sell out, they this, they that. But the reality is most people in West Africa, that's where they run to go and make a better living. So if these two countries are so bad, why are all the West Africa running to Senegal and Ivory Coast to make a better living? I don't
And
get it. And
and
also,
wh-
Ivory
and
Coast,
why do they have
Ivory Coast,
boatloads of Senegalese leaving the country?
but why are so many other Africans running to Senegal to make and Ivory Coast to make
Pe-
better
pe-
living?
People always look for opportunity wherever. It always going to happen.
But you still haven't answered my question. The thing is, Ivory Coast, for example, is responsible for supplying energy to loads of West African countries. Because other than that, they will be in blackout. You understand?
I understand what you're saying, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. Why do they allow France to have total control over them?
Because
France doesn't have total control over
They,
Senegal or even Cote
they,
d'Ivoire. I mean, they're
they,
influential, but when you say total control,
no, Diane, these people have their corporation and military in these countries, right? They know. Didn't you listen to what Dr. Arakana is saying? You're telling me Dr. Arakana is wrong?
I think it's grossly exaggerated.
And so you
Yeah,
said Dr. Arakana is grossly exaggerating what France has been doing.
as far as total control and they control everything, I think it's being exaggerated. If you ask me, I think
Yeah,
I think they're involved, but it's not to the level of what some people make it out to be.
yeah. France have companies have the right of refusal. They have the right of refusal. I'm gonna do
the only country,
invest.
the only coup in West Africa that I can say, the only two coups in West Africa that I can say are actually not only legitimate but actually make more sense is the one in Guinea and the one in Niger Republic, right? The reason why I'm saying that, and in fact, if you look at the trend of those two things, they're connected. Those two brothers are very connected because for example, I'll give you an example. When the coup happened in Niger Republic, the first place, Chiani went to where he sent his people to was in Guinea. Because I saw it. He sent his guys to Guinea and said, go and thank Dumbuya, for being with us. Because Guinea was the first country that said, you touch Niger, you touching us. Because this is our family. We're related through intermarriage, through bloodline. And the river Niger itself came from Futa Jalon in Guinea all the way to Niger and to Nigeria. So we are very close people. And he made that clear and he supported it. And Dumbuya in Guinea, he was a presidential guard of a president who wanted to do the wrong thing by having a third term, by destroying democracy, by having a third term in the country. He said, no, you cannot have a third term. It's legitimate. So you can see why I actually think
You're against what happened in Burkina Faso because they did the same thing. They formed an alliance with Niger also.
Later on, they followed the path. I'm
Okay,
telling you,
but they did form an alliance.
The trend Burkina and Niger is following is the trend Guinea followed after colonization, after we had independence. They're probably about 10, 20 steps behind us.
Okay, so you know you're going against, as far as Burkina Faso, you're going against, as far as black people, probably the most popular person in Africa. You know that, right?
Well, I can't see why he's the most popular person because I
Right,
don't
but
think that.
I'm just saying what it is. I'm just telling you the reality on the ground.
Yeah, it's just populism. Just like the one in Senegal. It's nice to see a young guy won the election, but I think it's all populism that's going to backfire in the long run. I'm this sort of guy that been online talking about stuff all the time. I'm actually happy to be sometimes one person out of 100 arguing against the odds, and they always come back again, like months or years down the line, to prove people that I'm actually what I was saying
So
is
so
correct.
so let me ask you. So you're for France then, um having their foothold on West Africa. You're for that?
Nobody's stopping West Africa from developing. It's us that's stopping. Our dumb, stupid leaders are the one that's stopping us from moving forward. It's
So
not the French.
France had nothing to do with it at all. Not one thing to do with it at all.
Well, in Niger Republic, they kind of had something because they
Just
kind of had because
just
they were
Nigeria Republic.
the minerals for cheap and selling it for expensive, for the world market, like for obviously $0.8 per kilogram, to $300 or $280 something dollars. That's taking a mickey. I understand that, but that's you can see why that's legitimate, and also having all these foreign bases in the middle of West Africa, in the long run, is not legitimate. It's not right.
Boy, I don't know where you get all this from, bro, but more power to you. But you're absolutely wrong.
What
Why is
was
he
that?
wrong?
Now,
What was that?
I say you're absolutely wrong about France not have that you agree with France having such input for so many years in the West African states.
But that's to do with the French countries who badly negotiated deals to the French, in the
Oh,
past.
okay,
They could go,
okay. Well, you just said it.
yeah, they could go back on the
You
table,
just
but
said it.
nobody finished.
What happened? What happened with Guinea?
They-
What happened with Guinea when Guinea refused?
they-
Well, let me ask you a question. What happened with Guinea when Guinea refused? Right during independence. Um, um, France. They didn't want to join France alliance. What the hell? I forgot the name of they call it. But what did France do to them?
What did when they pour cement in the sewage system and done all the stuff they did? I
Right,
know that.
right, exactly. Because they did not agree. Because they did not agree with them. You're saying the West African countries signed bad deal, with France. They were forced to.
Yeah.
They were
What's
forced to.
that? They wasn't forced to. They signed those
They were
deals because
forced to. Come on, brother. Come on, man. They
no,
were forced. You know they were forced to. They had no
the British,
choice.
the
It's
British,
either do that or fight.
the British West Africa did not have to sign those deals.
Listen to me. What they had to with France. With
No,
France, they had to.
so why Guinea did not sign it?
Well, you see what happened to them, right?
Yeah, but it's not. But they did not sign it though, right?
So yeah, but
They
it's
did
either
not
or.
sign it.
That's what that is my point.
Stand your ground. If you stand your ground, you stop being a coward. Yeah, you stand your ground and you follow what you believe. Eventually, you can actually see the hard work pays off. It's long term pain, obviously short term.
There's they're
Yeah,
still in,
it's long term.
they're still in pain because they're still trying to develop. It's extremely underdeveloped. Guinea's extremely
Guinea,
underdeveloped.
thank you. So if you look at Guinea now, you look at Guinea to Ivory Coast that actually managed to work with the French and have some kind of
You
sensible.
see, so yeah, so you see, you went back to the same thing you're saying. You're confusing
No, but
yourself.
what I'm trying to say is you don't sign deals based on um, colonialism. You sign deals that based on what is in your interest and the interest of your people. But the reality is, a lot of these countries did not do that. They only sign deals that have actually benefit them directly instead of the deals that benefit the
They
entire
if
good of the nation. That's the point.
France would have did the same thing to them if they didn't sign the deal. Okay, it's either, to me, they should have all did what Guinea did. They should have all done what Guinea did and not signed shit. They should have. You see, but like I'm saying, you see the result.
They get trouble with electricity. They went with the Russians. What Burkina Faso is doing now, yeah. Burkina Faso, cut off the French and they're gone with the Russians, right? That's what Guinea did during the colonial days, at the end of the colonial era, right? And the Russian came in, they took most of the minerals out, and Guinea still poor.
That wasn't the Russian. That was the Soviet Union.
Well, the similar thing, right?
Not similar. Russia and Soviet Union is two different things.
I think we should stop blaming them and answer the door. I think we should stop blaming them and actually focus on our own stuff.
France need to leave. Let the Africans fail or succeed by themselves.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the French have done some good in some countries, like I would say Ivory Coast and Senegal. They have invested a lot, the service economy and stuff like that. But at the same time,
because France have first right of refusal in those countries. As long as you let them play ball, everything is good. They got the first choice of refusal.
Right? There's good and bad in all of it. But all I'm trying to say is, right, we need to understand these people they came to Africa to make money, yeah, to obviously extract raw materials and stuff like that. So we are not going to they're not there to party with us. They already colonized us, they already enslaved us. We know their agenda. So by signing these deals with them, you need to know what you're signing. You either sign a good deal with them or you don't sign a deal and become poor. Or that's actually going to be
this is what is happening right now. Right? This is what's happening right now. The people don't want France, right? And they're going to get them out. It's as simple as that. There's no going around it.
I think we need to just stop playing the blame game and actually just work on.
Like I said, like I'm saying, blame game or not, the people don't want France, and they're gonna have to leave sooner or later. All of that place. Right now, France is nothing without Africa. France is a fourth world country without Africa. They have nothing in France.
I do not support any of these colonial masters. I don't believe.
Okay, great. That's what I'm saying.
But all I'm saying is the way things are and the way things are going in Africa, we actually just been swapping one colonial master to another. We don't know what
which colonial master we're swapping in for. What's the other one?
We swap the west to the east to the west, the west to the east to the west, and we think we're not seeing anything in the ground.
When did China or Russia colonize Africa?
They're doing it now, but at the back door. Open your eyes,
bro. Who's building the infrastructure in Africa?
Who build most of the infrastructure in Africa? China? Who build most of the real infrastructure in Africa? China?
Who is building the infrastructure right now in Africa? Right now. Who's doing it?
Africa? Answer the question though. Don't ignore it. Who build most of the infrastructure in Africa?
Listen to me. I say right now. Yeah. The Europeans build infrastructure to suit themselves before.
What are the Chinese doing?
China is building infrastructure. China's building infrastructure not only for them so they can move their goods, but for Africans to move their goods within the African borders. Right? Europeans didn't build shit. The most major um, um, uh, um, train infrastructure was built between Tanzania and Zambia. This was in the 70s. The Chinese built that. Okay, the only infrastructure that European built is to move goods towards them. That's the only
That's
type of
what
infrastructure they built. They didn't do shit.
they're
They
doing in
did
this war.
nothing. They did nothing.
Yeah,
You cannot point out one infrastructure that France built, right? That benefit Africa. They did nothing. Every infrastructure they built was geared towards them.
have you been to Ivory Coast there, Roy?
Bruh.
No, have you been to Ivory Coast?
What? No, I haven't been there. What infrastructure did they build that?
Ivory Coast, have you
What
been there?
infrastructure did they build that benefit that was sole benefit for Africa?
Infrastructure that they build roads, railways, bridge,
To
hospitals.
benefit them.
Oh, God.
As long as it benefit them, they got hundreds and thousands of companies in Ivory Coast and Senegal, hundreds and thousands.
They have trade deals with some of these countries.
Okay, like I said, the companies them, and I'm gonna get the list of companies that is owned by France in Senegal and in and Ivory Coast.
Hey guys, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, the link's in the chat room. You could click on that link and you could add to the conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, they're right.
Dennis, you know I'm good of getting the logistic and the reality of everything that's going on in Africa. I'm good at that.
I think you're very misguided, bro. I think you're just being pandering to this new Pan-African movement.
I'm not pandering to nothing, man. I'm just dealing with reality. My thing is, right? Allow the Africans them to succeed. Allow the Africans them to succeed or fail on their own and choose whoever they want to choose to do business with. Right now, France, England, and the rest of the colonizers and enslavers prove what they already proved it for the past couple hundred years. What they mean to Africa. They already proved it. You don't have to guess.
They just are business people. They just go there to make money, just like everybody else.
They don't care. They don't care about what happened to the Africans, to the normal people. Okay, they do not care. They want control. The reason why we have several, my country right here in America, we got several bases all over Africa. Okay, what do we do? What do you think we have bases there for? The base that they have in Nigeria. What do you think that for terrorists? You think that base in Nigeria is for terrorists?
But the Chinese got bases in East Africa. Why do you think they have those bases there for?
Bro, the Chinese have a base in Djibouti.
Yeah. And
almost every country got almost every major country have a base in Djibouti. America have the biggest one, them and France. Okay, but America have bases all over the place.
They've got bases there, though, yeah.
Okay, America have bases all over the place. I have about 15 members of military, either in the military right now, including my brother who's a sergeant, and people that already got out of the military. I know the military well, right? We have bases all over Africa.
Blood war in Sierra Leone, right? We had a blood war in Sierra Leone. I didn't see Chinese coming over there to help us. I did not see the Russians coming over there to help us. I did not see the European Union coming. The only people that we've seen there that came in to help us were the British, outside apart of Guinea next door.
The major country that helped in Sierra Leone was Nigeria.
No, the British came there.
I didn't say the British didn't come there. I said the major country that was in that made a difference was Nigeria.
The major country that made a difference.
The British just went there to save face. Okay, because they're ex-colony.
Stop. The Guinean military done majority of the hard work in the ground against the guys, you know, where the Guinean
Oh
military.
Lord.
Then
According to the Sierra Leoneans, it's Nigeria that gave them the most help. This is according to the Sierra Leoneans.
That was during the Civil War. I think it was
The Civil War. That's what I'm talking about. What is he talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anyway, I think you're clueless. ECOWAS.
Al, you sound very muffled. Like,
okay, sorry, man. Can you hear me better?
That's a little bit better. Go ahead.
ECOWAS were peacekeeping force. The Guinean military came in to fight. The British SAS came in there at the end to fight the West Side Boys. So there's two military forces that came there to fight, one peacekeeping force there was. You understand?
You're telling me the Nigerian wasn't doing any fighting at all?
ECOWAS was a peacekeeping force.
The Nigerians was also in there fighting, bro. This is what the Sierra Leone. You're saying this, or are you from Sierra Leone?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, he's Sierra Leone.
Okay, well, this is what I'm hearing from the Sierra Leoneans. That was the Nigerians.
During the Civil War, ECOMOG, which was headed by Nigeria, did help a whole lot.
Yes.
What do they tell you when you go to Sierra Leone, Dynast?
We don't really speak on the Civil War like that in Sierra Leone when I'm there.
They talk on, but I tell you, the Guinean military done most of the heavy lifting. Then the ECOWAS, then the British.
I don't know about that one,
bro. Man,
I don't know about that one. ECOWAS, Nigeria was the one doing the heavy lifting. In Liberia and Sierra Leone, it was ECOWAS in Nigeria.
Yeah, but you know the ECOWAS is not just Nigeria; it's mixed of all West Africa.
But it's predominantly Nigerian.
It's dominant by Nigerians. Dominant.
So, Dynast, the Guinean military were heavily involved inside. Heavily involved.
They may have been involved, but the Nigerians is the one that did the bulk of the work.
That was destroying the country. Called mosquitoes.
Hey Al, real quick, Al, how do you feel about shout out to JC for the 199 holla? How do you feel about the restaurant being at the and then Al, you sound real muffled, so I don't know if you're on speakerphone or if you're talking Bluetooth, I don't know. It's still muffled. How do you feel about the restaurant at the dungeon in Ghana?
That's wrong. It's wrong. But you know, it's Ghana for you. I disagree with it. I disagree with the whole thing. Morally, it's wrong, but probably financially might not be a bad thing for them. You know, but at the end of the day, Dynast, if you cannot take care of your own family, someone else come in and start looking after it. You can't blame them, can you? You know.
Yeah. Guys,
Dynast, did Professor Small say, did he say what he's gonna do?
I'd rather speak clearly. All right.
I can't hear you. You're muffled, Al. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'll fix my problem so I come back. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Did Professor Smalls say what he's gonna be going forward, what he's gonna try to do about it, if anything?
He's just getting you know what? Let me go to the petition. In fact, let me share this screen. Give me a second. We must save the sacred shrine of our ancestors, a Mina slave dungeon campaign created by James Small. Mr. President, we would like for you to please assist in the removal of this restaurant and bar from the Mina slave dungeon. It is a sacred space for us to go to remember and pay tribute to our common ancestors who died in the genocide called the transatlantic slave trade. It was consecrated as a shrine in July 1992 with all the rights bestowed by all the Mahine and Kumfo of the Edna traditional area, within the blessing of all of the indigenous gods appearing and approving. With the appropriate sacrifice made, we sincerely beg your assistance.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you what they did in New York here in the I think it was the 90s. in New York. Some construction workers was ready to build a skyscraper in someplace in the Wall Street area, and they were digging and they found a whole bunch of graves. Right, this is the middle of the Wall Street. I know you know Wall Street, and the
A whole
immediate
bunch of graves.
they,
Bro, Image, you got to turn off the playback, bro.
Yeah,
yeah, so they immediately stopped the digging, and no, this was a multi-million dollar building going up, get ready to go up. They immediately stopped the building and calling the archaeologists and stuff like that, and they did whatever they had to do, and they found out that it was slaves that was buried there. Well, the people protested, the government stepped in, and no more building. So all the license was revoked for that. Now it's a memorial site right there, and that site is fenced round, and nobody walk on it. They could just go there and look and remembrance and stuff like that. But nobody could go in that on that ground right there and walk around or nothing.
Somebody was asking who was in the graves.
Slaves.
Oh, black slaves. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Royal Image. Go ahead, Royal Image.
Me personally, that whole place, I think the government should break it down and put something better there. Because again, all it does is draw us back into a negative space, negative energy. I don't see anybody doing it's Ghana. They're not going to do anything about it. That's just going to be there. And the people that are saying this and that, they don't live there, they have nothing there. People are just talking. So the first thing is you ask yourself, how does this affect you? Everybody's online always complaining. Pardon?
Well, I'm not complaining.
I never mentioned you. I'm just generalizing, right? So how does this affect you as an individual, right? Are you going to support it? Most of us are not going to support it. So we as a people just need to talk to each other, link with each other, and then not support it. If we don't support it, then it doesn't stand. If we support it, then it stands, right? Anything that gains support will grow. Just like we plant anything, if you don't water it, it's not going to grow. So most of the time, all we do is just talk and talk and talk and talk. If we don't like it, let's not support it. That's all we need to do. But talking about it is also promoting it, because people are going to go there just to see if it's even there. You see what I'm saying? So most of the things that we do online, we just complain and we give light to things that don't even need to be mentioned or talked about. But each and every single time, we do the same thing over and over and over. I don't even, to be honest, if I had any power, like I said, that place would be gone. There would be something better to be put there for those who want to come back and reconnect and align themselves properly. You go through that, and then you come, but you go back, you go into the past, and you're crying.
What would you build there?
An example, see how they have that door of return out? That same symbolism, that same energy is what needs to be put there.
What do you mean that? It's already a door of return there. I don't understand.
Yeah, but before you get to the door of return, you've went through that whole trauma, tragic, evil experience to go to the door of no return. And I'm saying, when you come back, your ancestors in America has already gone through that whole bullshit already. Why do you need to come back and experience it? You don't need to experience it. You're in a better space. You are in a place where they wish they were.
No, hold on, back up, bro.
You are not in a better place?
No.
Than your ancestors?
No.
Okay, enlighten me.
What do you mean by better? You talking about riches in your pocket? Is that what you mean?
No, right now you can travel and go wherever you want to go. You can set up any business you wish to set up. You can have your business, get married. You could do whatever it is that you wish to do. There's nothing that's stopping you from doing what you, Delroy, want to do right now.
Who's stopped anybody from doing it in Africa?
Listen, let's not play these dumbass games. I'm saying the ancestors were in worse shape than we are.
So you agree with the slave trade then?
Man, listen.
What are you laughing for?
Delroy,
you see, this is the problem. Hold on a second, bro. Hold on a second.
Right,
This is the distance You see what I'm saying? That Africans in Africa have to learn about Africans in the diaspora. This is the distant,
Don't
right?
do this
We don't
bullshit.
think the
You're
same.
just as garbage.
We
What you're saying. Listen, I know the history.
you-
I would not be talking to you if I did not know the history.
then if you know and absorb the history, you wouldn't say that.
Why do
Okay,
you
what
say
do you mean
that?
a better place?
I
The
know the
people
history to
suffered
know
here
that
for
we are in a better
500.
place and can do
Listen, bro,
better.
the people suffered for hundreds and hundreds of years. Better how? How are they better?
I didn't say they. I said you, we, right now, present.
Oh my God, have
Your
mercy,
God.
bro.
Which
Are
God
you
is that?
serious? Oh, you cannot be serious. That's why you
Man,
don't
Daryl,
talk.
I was on
Listen,
your side
don't
a couple
talk.
shows ago, and then from
Don't
yesterday or
talk.
the day
Don't
before,
talk for the
you've been on
descendants.
some bullshit.
Don't talk for. Fuck you, bro. What are you talking about?
Hey,
Don't talk
emotions,
for the
little
descendants of
bitch.
Oh,
slaves.
dang,
Calm
whoa, whoa,
yourself.
whoa,
Don't
whoa, whoa,
fucking
whoa,
talk
whoa,
for the
whoa,
descendants of
Calm
whoa.
yourself.
slaves.
We don't speak with
Are you kidding
emotion.
me?
We don't deal
Don't
with
talk for
emotion.
the
We're
yo.
not dealing with emotion.
Let's be nice.
Don't talk for the descendants of slaves. Okay?
Listen,
You
I'm
don't
more
know how we
connected to
feel.
them than
No,
you are.
listen, bullshit. No, listen,
You are
nothing.
not even
I'm not
connected
listening
to
to you.
those that you call ancestors.
Okay? What?
You right now, there, Roy, are not even connected to those who you claim to be your ancestors. Your ancestors never said they were black. They didn't call themselves black. They knew exactly where they came from. You don't.
I don't know where I'm come from.
No, you don't. You're a black man. No black
I-
man know where they come from. Shut up.
I can't. You shut the fuck up, bitch.
Oh, hey, well, y'all, we gotta be careful. We gotta listen. Let's keep
I
it
came
The
civil.
on
hell
here
you tell me
today
shut
because
up?
every time
Let's
I
keep it
come on,
civil.
Huh?
I'm real
What do
quiet
you mean I don't know
and
where I'm
I'm real
shut your
soft with you
dumb
guys.
ass up?
And
That's
then you
the
guys just
problem.
talk over and
That's the
everything.
problem
I'm not
with
doing
you
that
got.
no more.
You mean I don't know where I'm come from? I did
You
my
don't.
goddamn DNA. I came from the Igbo people in Nigeria.
Man, shut up with the
Okay?
DNA bullshit.
That's where I came from.
Why do you need that DNA to know where you're coming from?
Bro, get off the fucking channel, man. Get off the fucking
Emotions. Again, we're
platform. Use
dealing
a
with
damn
emotion.
idiot.
We don't deal with
Use
emotion.
an
We deal with
idiot.
intellect.
Use an idiot.
Okay, so help
Okay?
me become an idiot. Help me
You
get out of my
don't know
idiocy.
where. What the fuck you mean I don't know where I'm come from? What do you mean I don't know where
Again,
I'm
you
come
see,
from?
you're hurt. You're dealing with
What
emotion
kind of
right now.
bullshit is that?
You're dealing with emotion there, Roy.
Where you came from? I'm not
You're
dealing with
dealing with
emotion.
emotion
I'm
right
dealing
now.
with facts.
No, forget the facts.
Huh?
You don't know where you're coming from. You're dealing with your emotions right now. You're hurt,
So
you're responding negatively based
let
on
me
how
ask
your
you.
emotions is dictating you should speak. It's all
I can't.
emotion coming out of you right now.
You
Just
can't speak
yesterday
to.
or the other day
You
when
can't
you were
speak
wrong,
to.
it was all
You
emotion. You
cannot
couldn't just say
speak
I
to
was wrong
idiots.
and let the
You cannot
conversation
speak to
continue. You were in your
idiots that don't
emotions.
listen. You can't speak to idiots that don't listen. You got to use emotion to idiots.
Why do you need
You talking
emotion?
about you
Use
don't know where I come
intellect,
from.
not emotion.
So you're
Use the
telling me
intelligence to let me know I'm wrong.
so hold on a
To
second.
show the
Hold on
chat
a
that
second.
Royal's
Hold
wrong,
on a
and
second,
this is
dude.
why
Hold on a
he's
second.
wrong.
Hold on a second. Let's take some of the African scholars.
All right.
Right?
Like who? Give me one name.
Professor Diop of Senegal.
All
He's
right.
an idiot too.
What?
Professor Diop of Senegal. Is he an idiot?
You and him are day and night. You can't compare yourself to him. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God of
Foolish
mercy,
man.
bro. So let me ask something. Where do you think I get some of my teachings from?
From him, but you're not like him. Don't
I didn't say I
compare
was
yourself.
him, bro.
Student and
I
teacher
didn't
is
say
not
I
the
was
same.
him. I didn't say I was him. Okay?
But I'm
these are
talking
where
to
the
you. Why are
teachings
you
come
bringing the
from.
great man in next to you? Like you and him are the same.
Man, I wish you was in front of that. Punch you right in your fucking
Listen,
face.
yo,
I wish you was standing
big
up in
man,
front of me.
you can't
Hey,
do nothing.
listen, no
you
violence.
can't do
Let's
nothing.
be civil. Let's be civil.
You
Where do you
can't
live?
do nothing.
Where do you live?
Come on, Delroy, come on, man. No,
You
Yo,
can't do nothing. Your emotions is running you right now.
Delroy, it's not that serious,
Your
man.
emotions have you by the balls,
Okay,
big man.
Dynas, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you,
And your
Dynas.
emotions have you up.
Dynas.
Yeah, go ahead, Delroy.
Dynas.
Yes, sir.
I know a lot of these guys.
Hey, Black
They
Beauty,
come on
you
here
know today I'm on that. I'm just playing with him, but you know, I have to
because they on the other side of the internet, because so they could talk, right? But
so
if
you're trying to say I'm some soft guy, I'm just sitting here by my computer, on my iPad, just here, just talking.
Where do you live, bro? Where do you live?
Listen, I'm nowhere near you, and trust me, and if you were close to me, me and you will meet up. I'm telling you, I'm no soft guy, you know. Not some soft African to come on here trying to be nice.
Where do you live?
I'm just nice because
It
I
don't
want us to
matter
work
really.
together.
I live in Decatur, Georgia.
Man. It's the internet.
Yeah, but I'm no soft guy. I'm telling you.
You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
What makes you say that,
man, I gotta meet both of you guys. Listen, I want to keep the conversation going, but we gotta be We got to be civil, man. Guys, links
So
in the
let me
chat room.
continue, Dynast.
Yeah,
'Cause he
but
cut me
guys,
off. You
listen,
know that.
continue. But we're not the whole.
He
Let's
cut me
meet
off.
up and come on now. It don't matter. It don't matter, man.
He
It's
cut me off and he insulted me first. I'm defending myself.
I
You
know,
mute
but
me.
it don't matter. Well, it's YouTube, man. It's YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
but
YouTube.
you can't let I'm a man too, you know.
I understand
I can't let no man think I'm some soft guy sitting here and I can't defend myself.
Royal Image is YouTube. I don't.
All right, so let's get back on topic.
Let's get
and
back
again,
on topic.
to be honest,
Let's
I'm
get
on
back
some
on
bullshit
topic
today, so
let's
let
get
me
back
just
on
apologize
topic.
to the chat.
Let's be respectful and stuff. Let's get back on topic. Go ahead.
No problem.
All right, go ahead, Royal Image.
So what I was trying to say where Daryl disagrees. Again, he wants to keep the monument. Again, it's just opinions. I'm just stating what I think is best for the people, right? We can disagree, but again, I'm not with the insults. So what I was trying to say is, all of us going back home. I'm not in Ghana right now, right? So when I go, I try to visit as much as I can. And when I get there, there's a lot of the people that are coming. Like I took a St. Lucian woman with me last time I was there. And I realized
let me ask you a question.
No
when you go there, and this is my observation.
Yeah.
I think it's the majority of people who visit these dungeons are white people. Am I right or wrong?
It depends on the time. Right? It depends on the time you go to Ghana. You meet people mostly from Caribbean and it depends on the time. Like the last time I was there with the St. Lucian woman, it was just Ghanaians that was there and some school children. Right? But what I realized when I was there was with myself and the Ghanaians and then the Ghanaian people that was there, we didn't really have that much emotional connection to the place. We know what took place, but the emotion, like I'm sad and
right. Well, not to cut you off. Like I said from the onset, the locals don't view it as sacred as the diaspora, which I don't think it's personal. Right?
No,
correct.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like the locals is just it's whatever, right? If you go to school, then you learn about it. Then you have to make yourself feel sad. Like you have to say, "Oh, this is a sad place." You have to make yourself feel sad. So what I realized when I was there with the St. Lucian woman is she was emotional. She wanted to connect with the evil that took place over there. And we were there, we're chatting, we're doing all of this, but at the same time, I'm watching her. And then I realized like we don't have the same connection that she has. So this is where Delroy comes in, is like it's sacred to him that he wants to preserve, he wants to keep it.
Right.
I understand that.
Royal Image, and I'm sorry to cut you off again.
No problem.
Sorry. The what I brought to the table was that the Black Diaspora put together a nonprofit.
Yeah.
They raise money. Again, they raise money. They approach the government and say, hey, how much is it going to cost per year for us to have a seat at the table and take control? Because, again, and I'm Black American. The emotional part, as far as approaching the government from an emotional standpoint, like, hey, we were kidnapped or took away and all that. At the end of the day, is about money and what can you invest into these monuments, if that's what you want to call it, as far as upkeep. And I just don't see the diaspora doing that. It's just more on the emotional side. But so if we want this monument to continue to be sacred, it's going to take the diaspora to invest.
Diners, your people ain't going to invest in things like that. They don't have no IQ investing in things that they're not going to have anything back of it. Come on, Diners.
But that's the thing, and that's why, like, so, and nothing against Professor Small. Like, when I see this petition, I'm like, I'm just like, come on, bro, petition, like,
Diners, look.
I keep saying, like, put together a diaspora group. As I said at the beginning. All right, let me for people who just joined us. Excuse me, I was eating a snack. From the onset, and I said this from the beginning. Number one, the majority of revenue that is brought are.
Hey,
hello. We lost you, man.
My bad. I was muted. I'm sorry. Let me start all over. from the beginning. All right, this is what I said from the onset when this whole controversy was brought up. Sorry, guys, I was eating a snack. As far as this restaurant goes, I said, number one, the locals who live in the immediate area of these slave dungeons they don't view these slave dungeons as sacred. That's number one. Number two, the majority of revenue that is, I guess, earned or brought in to these slave dungeons comes from white people. Like when I go to these slave dungeons, I'm the minority. It's the white people and locals who are the majority. So with
Yeah,
that
because
being said, let me
they constructed it.
let me finish. Let me finish. So with that being said, I was saying since the diaspora, since we view these these monuments as sacred, we need to put together a nonprofit organization. Approach the government to say, hey, look, because the controversy is why is this? Because so the restaurant that is at El Mina, one of the partners is a white man. That's how this started. So I said, well, why are you upset? Because the majority of people who visited are white or locals who don't view this museum as sacred. So these restaurants are gonna cater to them. So they don't care. But the diaspora, since it's so sacred to us, how about we approach the government? Hey, look, this is the amount of revenue you guys bring in per year. Let's see the numbers. This is the amount you bring in per year. Us at the diaspora, we want a seat at the table to make decisions in regards to what goes on at the dungeon. What's the amount how much do we need to cut a check for?
Oh, come on, diners. You guys don't have the amount of money to cut a check. I mean, Ghanaians are making money out of this stuff. It's just what unfortunate that you want to go, you want to take an organization and claim it. Look, man, let's be sincere too. I'll probably align with what this brother was talking about. This dungeon was built by the white man. For some reason, as an African, I believe that this infrastructure will have been destroyed by Africans themselves
Yeah.
instead of keeping this erect, these buildings. And these are things that cause trauma. When you say Africans do not actually see it the way you guys see it, because we believe that it was what our own people went through it. We were the ones that were beaten. You guys only have the impact of it, but the people that actually felt it were the Africans themselves that felt it. Now, when this brother said you are actually living the life of your dream in America at this point in time, let's be sincere, that's true. I mean, because many people that are going through that door of return are actually coming back to United States, to a place where they claimed it wasn't the where they were supposed to be, but yet they still want to be there. So this is not the only dungeon in Africa. In every country on the coast of Africa, from Angola, Cameroon, Nigeria, Senegal, you have dungeons like this. So when I see you guys trying to claim it, or you want an organization to claim it, then now I'm actually believing that you guys want to make profit out of it. And for something that you want to make profit out of it, the government shouldn't give it out to people, because we have seen a lot of lands that the government have given to African Americans. They have taken it and resold it to other people, and things start getting sour, and a lot of destruction, and a lot of families start coming in and saying, but we give you this for an organization. Now you are actually doing business out of it. So yeah, I wish people can just realize that the slave trade is a past glory. I mean, you claiming you are Igbo, and you are concentrated in what is happening in Ghana. And maybe this guy that was saying he is Igbo, he has not gone back to an Igbo state to actually see what is happening there, and just believe that the whole Africa is the same people. It just doesn't make no sense. But for me as a whole, this infrastructure needs to be destroyed instead of being erected. So
Yeah, let me touch back on the destroy, because a lot of people having issues why I'm saying that. Again, I understand the significant of that building. Again, it's called El Mina. It's called the mine. It's in Portuguese. It was built from 1471, and I think it took 5 years to build or whatever. So from the very beginning, they already had their plan. We just think, I don't know what we're thinking right now. So from the very beginning, El Mina was to mine your resources, human resources, whatever resources that you had. The dungeons at the bottom of those castles already had a purpose when they knew exactly what they were doing. So we are only keeping their dominance alive by keeping these buildings alive on the grounds. What I'm saying is, instead of it being the dungeon and reminding us of the horrors that took place, our defeat and torture and all these things, I'm saying, let us break it down and put something that represents us right now, not something that takes us back in the past when we were in chains. And that's what I don't understand. And again, the black man will say, well, you don't understand our pain. It's like, buddy, everybody, all of us were struggling and going through it under them. It was not like it was peaceful in Africa. We were in plantations too, but it just the African being on plantations and farming, the cocoa, the timber, the rubber, and all these things for them, that's not covered. The cotton and the sugar cane, that's covered. You understand? We don't get that coverage, and being on your own land and working for somebody else and everything being that doesn't get covered. But what I'm saying is we need to put something on the ground that represents us now. Like I was saying earlier, we are in better shape than we were 500 years ago when we came in contact with them, when we started trading with them.
Well, go ahead, Roland. I got a question for you and Elmira Judah. So the question would be.
Hold on, Dynas. Let me just add this in.
Go ahead.
There's another part. Those that go on the tour. So the proper tour. Last time I was trying to tell you guys that all the slaves came from the north, and that everybody that watches Ghana and these slave things, there's a river called Asin River, the slave river Donkonsu, right? So when you're coming from the north, that's where they were cleaned, and then they were marched all the way to the coast areas to be shipped off, right? So the water there, if anybody wants to wash away from all these traumas, and I suggest you go to that water and then cleanse yourself there and not even bother with the damn dungeon.
When you say come from the north, are you talking about Ghana or did the slave just come directly to Ghana? I mean, it seems like you are mistaken. You think the slave was just shipped only to Ghana?
No.
I mean, it's not only the north that they came from. They came from everywhere.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I'm talking about
Ghana.
When
you say north where? What part of? I mean, there wasn't no Ghana back then. There wasn't no African country. So when you say north, I'm confused.
Okay, just give me 1 sec. Let me try and see if I can clear up the confusion. So the Asante, last time I was on there, I was trying to tell a man that the Asante Empire was not selling no slaves. They were selling slaves, but they were not capturing slaves. So
yeah, man, we got you, man. I mean, keep going back in history, man. It just doesn't make no sense.
You said there was some confusion. I'm just trying to clear up.
No, it's not confusion, but the north is like a whole big. When you talk of North Africa,
I'm talking about present day Ghana, north of Ghana, present day. Right,
and then that's okay. I understood what you mean north, but I mean when you say north, I understood. When you talk about north, you're talking about Bogatanga, Tamale. That's where north of Ghana is. They call it the interland.
What did you say? I was confusing.
No, you're not confusing. But when you say north, I didn't know you were talking about Ghana as a country.
Well,
because
I'm Ghanaian. Everything I say is Ghanaian. I can't
you are
speak for
Ghanaian.
Nigerian, man.
But if I want to go deeper, I might even tell you that there wasn't even no slave that came from Ghana. Maybe it came from other interlands, like all the way from Burkina Faso and Mali.
Confusion.
And all. Yeah, but it came from Mali, Burkina Faso. That is what the white man called the interland.
I'm saying they came from the north to be shipped in the coast in the dungeons in El Mina. Why are we arguing?
Oh yeah, guys, this is so now this is just a circular conversation. This is just hold on, one mic. This is
building that
I gotta meet you. This is just a circular conversation now. So
Dennis, can I say something now?
Go ahead, Delaware. Go ahead.
All right. You see what O'Shea just said?
Yeah, I did.
With the super chat? Okay. So to me, the Africans on the continent will never understand what happened to us. They will never. They might say they know the history, but they will never understand
That's a lie.
what happened to us. Let me talk, but you could say what you want to say, okay? Because right now, like I said, right? I wish I could meet you, right?
Delaware, we moved on from that, Delaware. We moved on.
Okay, but
Yeah, but
anyway,
let me
forget
ask you a
about that.
question though.
I'm
You
saying
say
my
we
thing.
will never. Let me just ask you.
Hold on. Let Delaware finish, and then
Let me finish. O'Shea just said we cannot something like the people that sold us, right, will
Yeah,
never
so
understand us, right? That he said
it
something
was not
along that
you, it
line,
was their
yeah,
brother.
right?
So
but Delroy, it's to be honest, Delroy, like me personally, like I've moved on. Like I don't like when I go to Africa, like my intent is not to make the locals feel the pain of 400 years of slavery. I moved on. Like
No, I agree with you. I don't want him. I don't want him to either. But
they
I
don't
don't
have
want him to
to
either.
be. They can be sympathetic, but for them just
But
to want to be as emotional as
but
us,
let me but let,
it's
let me
just
ask some Dynast.
yeah.
Do you think the Jewish people would ever let you get the Holocaust? Which
You
just
know
happened
what?
the other day.
That's a good. In fact, that's
Hmm?
the question I was going to ask to Roe Image and Almighty Judah.
ask
Roe
him, let
I
me
Image and
can,
ask
I
him.
Almighty.
can,
Hold
I
on,
can answer. I can answer that if you
let
want
me
to.
ask the question. Let me ask the question. So the question is: should we treat the slave dungeons like the Jews treat these Holocaust, like Auschwitz? You know what I mean?
They have places where they go and they mourn and they do all of that. The Jewish people, do they have a place like that?
Did
Well,
the Holocaust
it'll be
happen?
ostrich. It'll be ostrich, right? Ostrich,
Oh,
No,
where
right?
but
is
do they
Auschwitz
pilgrim?
located?
One of the place.
I'm just trying. I don't know, so I'm just trying to get.
Any place that Jews
Yeah.
that they said that's sacred to them,
Yes.
right?
But
You better
it's not
respect it.
in Germany.
Even that place.
The
Hold on.
Jews
Let me
Hold on a
felt
finish.
the
second.
Let me
impact
finish.
in Germany.
Even
They don't
if
have
that
no
place,
dungeons in Germany.
even if that place is outside of Germany or any other place, if that place is in Brooklyn, if
Yes.
they say it's sacred to them, if it's a tree and the tree's sacred to them,
Yes.
right? They'll let you know, and you better not touch that tree.
Okay.
That's
Do
what
they
I'm
have
saying.
a place like that?
Of course, they have places like that.
Where?
And they have places like that in Germany.
Where? Where in Germany?
Auschwitz is one of the places like that.
So
No,
what I'm trying to
man.
say,
There's
hold on.
no, man.
What I'm saying is, we have a place, or the black man has a place in Ghana and the coastal line of Africa where the Europeans built forts and castles and all these places where they were trading and taking things up. These same places are places we worship. Now, Delroy, do you consider the Mina, the mine, to be a sacred ground?
What happened inside?
No,
I
please
said it
answer my
before.
question.
What
Please answer
happened
my question.
inside of it is that's sacred. Is
No,
what happened
no.
inside of it.
Okay, so do
That's the
you that
sacred of it. It just
is
that
the
building,
building, not the
the
land.
building
It's the
held
building, not the
the
land.
building held what happened inside of it.
So okay, do you consider
You
that
see,
place to
what
be
I'm saying?
sacred? No,
That's
I
why I say
understand.
it's, well. That's why I say it's sacred. You see, me personally, I don't
Yes,
think
answer the
anybody should have a
question.
restaurant there, right? I don't think
Man, get out
anyone,
of here,
black,
man.
white, or whatever,
Get
I
out
don't
of
think anyone
here.
should have it there. The place should be
Get-
sacred.
get-
And I gave an
Why
example.
not build? Why not build your own place and claim it? Why go claim what was built by the white man? Come on, bro.
Oh
Come on, man.
man,
I wanted to ask you a
bro.
question. Let me ask you
Did
a question real quick, man. You say we
did
Africans do not feel the impact. We do not feel what you guys feel. I want to ask you a question, right? A thief broke into your house, took your captured, killed you and your wife, and your son and your children moved to another place. Who is feeling the impact? The people that have died or the children? The people that died were the Africans that died in the ocean.
I, I
Over there, they were killed by the white man. Most of them were maimed. Their hands were chopped off. The one that came to America, who felt the impact right there was the Africans that felt it. You that moved to the plantations or whatsoever, you moved on. And despite that you face consequences and effects, the Africans that felt that impact of being killed also had their own impact. Do you actually feel
it
what they
it
felt?
it it
No,
it,
my
it,
dear, you
it,
don't
it
feel it.
don't it don't translate into
How do you
their
expect me to
descendants.
feel what you felt in America, and you don't expect to feel what those people felt immediately that when what happened, the slave when they were being captured?
I don't believe that the Africans have the same feeling towards slavery,
They don't have
right?
to,
As they
because
should.
when
Okay,
he
well,
says
you just
they
said it. They
have
don't
the
have
same
to.
feelings,
You're right.
Hold on,
You're
Delroy.
absolutely
it makes
correct.
no
They don't have
sense.
to.
Hey
They don't have
guys,
to
let me
think that
pass it.
way.
Let me
You are
pass it to Armo. Let me.
confusing, because you
No,
are
no.
not talking about the immediate effect of the slave trade and what happened after it. That's what you are confused about it. There are two major causes. What happened immediately was when the Africans were killed, they were being mimed, their children were taken, families were split into half, and the impact of it is those who survived came to America and in plantations. So, do you feel the same impact of those who were killed in Africa? Maybe you don't feel it. So, how am I supposed to know who went to
Uh,
America and who did not?
how are the descendants supposed to feel it?
Delroy,
So,
listen up.
how am
Hey,
I
hey, by the way,
supposed to feel it,
guys,
you in
let me
America?
hold on one mic. Let me pass it to Amo real quick. He's been with Amo. Unmute yourself, Amo. Then I'm gonna pass it to Kyla. I know Kyla's in Liberia. Go ahead, Amo. Unmute yourself.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my mic was mute. Thank you,
Go
Dan.
go
And
ahead.
it's a very interesting conversation going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking as somebody who is Ghanaian, Nigerian, and grew up in the territory, lived in both places, and I've visited most of those. I call them, places of desecration. But we cannot obliterate the record. There is a reason why we go back and do archaeology. Imagine if the great Sheikh Anta Diop and Professor Obenga did not have the benefit of extracting genetic material from the mummies in Egypt, as they call them, to determine and establish that they were actually melanated people. Imagine. So you don't
In academia,
obliterate
they
your
still don't take
history.
that in as truth or fact. You know
Hold
that.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
It's
hold on,
just
hold on,
we,
hold
the
on. Let me
descendants on
finish.
the
Let
Africans,
him
that
roll limit. Let him fin. Let him finish. Let him
Can I
finish. Go ahead,
finish?
Amo.
You can don't interject. Just let me finish, okay? Thank you.
sorry.
All right. So the benefit of not obliterating and clearing out all the records, your historical records, is that the story is encapsulated in those relics, whether ugly, beautiful, celebratory, or whatever. Now, if you travel before the balkanization of Africa in 1894, whatever, when they balkanized it in Berlin. The slave trade started long before Europeans even ever came to Africa in the first place.
It wasn't 1894 though, man. When you are making points, stop
Wait, wait,
being,
wait, 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 wait,
I mean, you
wait,
have to be factful.
He's talking about the Arab slave trade, which
okay,
mostly took place.
We talk about
okay.
balkanization of
Let
the
me
Berlin was
finish.
1844, not 1894 or something.
1844.
1884.
Africa was not balkanized in Berlin in 1844. Go look at your records. I'm sorry. Let me finish my
1884. I
point.
say 1884.
Let me finish my record. Let me finish my conversation here. Let
I
me
mean,
finish
but you
my
have to be factual, man.
Let me finish my conversation, sir. You spoke at length. Did I interrupt you? Thank you. Let's be civil towards each other. You can come in with your corrections after a person has spoken. Let's make it nice. So, African slave trade did not just start with Europeans, it started with the Arabs. We know that. Sudan was a slave market. Okay? People were taking slaves all the way from smaller tribes that were easily conquered and captured and sold as captives to slave dealers in Sudan, who then sold them on to Arabians. That was a fact. Then, when Europeans came on the coasts and started engaging in trade, the trade shifted from the Arabians, and now people equipped with European weaponry, guns, went upstream and conquered small tribes, took captives, and sold them down south all the way to Egypt.
Can I interject before you continue, just to add more information to what you're saying?
Well, I want to hear. I want to hear him. Good.
But
Go ahead.
you just missed a big portion. So 1471, when they made touch on the coast of Africa, which was what we call Ghana today. Continue.
But Dynas, this guy is still narrating the same story that you have heard often and often, right? I mean, these are the same story points that Africans come on the panel and they talk about the Arab slave trade and the African slave trade. I mean, come on. We know that.
You don't want me to finish what I have to say.
I mean, it's the same story point, though.
Let him finish.
It's okay, finish.
Talk. Finish. Go ahead.
So when the conversation here is about two things. What do we do with those relics of the slave trade? The other one is what happened to the African person in Africa and then those who were taken to the diaspora, be it the Caribbean, be it North America, be it Europe, whatever happened to them there. The thing is, families were divided. Communities were split. People had alliances with Europeans seeking protection from one tribe who had alliances with other Europeans. A classic example is this. The Dutch, a lot of people don't know this. The Dutch were the allies of the Ashantis. When the Dutch left the Gold Coast, when they left the coast and they sold their stake to the British, they never told the Ashantis that they sold their stake.
Which state are you talking about?
Which they sold their interest. When I say stake, they sold their interest in Mina.
This is what I don't like. People come here and they just talk a bunch of nonsense trying to sound smart. It's what he's saying is bullshit. Again, I don't know where he's coming from, but here he is talking about Ghanaian history. Last time I tried to show you guys the whole of the history, but you guys won't even let me finish. Here's another man coming to talk about.
There wasn't no country as Ghana till after
that's even okay.
After independence.
That's not
man.
Yeah, let me go ahead, Kyle. Let me Kyle, go ahead, Kyle. Kyle's in Liberia. Go ahead, unmute yourself, Kyle.
Oh man, forget about Kyle, bro.
So, Dynas, can you give me like 5 more minutes? Because I'm waiting to Ross to come back. So I'm watching his stuff. I'm gonna move to another part of the hotel because I'm not getting that good. Can you hear me well though? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you just fine. I hear you.
Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was looking at Judah. Judah was cracking. Maybe God don't want him to talk.
Oh yes, Carla, we can hear you, man. We good. We can hear you, Carla.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to talk about this slave dungeon thing, which is an abomination. With this white guy doing this, what he does. But my personal opinion is, and I've been floating this around, maybe it's time to shut those slave castles down and turn them into like maybe rebuild them or something like that, cordon them off, right? Make it like a museum, but not be a tourist. We start doing tourism, right? What I'm here in Liberia right now, I'm in Liberia right now, Monrovia, and tourism, and I said that tourism to Africa has to be more than about that brief history, even though it's monumental, slavery and everything. That doesn't define our whole history. It does not define our present. It does not define the future.
Facts.
So people basically don't understand something. If you're going to go to these slave castles all the time and everything, the white man says, hey, look, yeah, you know y'all Negroes like to eat, so I'm going to set something up, you know? And if it wasn't for social media, people would have no freaking problem with it, you know? I have no problem with it. My thing is, it's time to stop. Okay, we know about the slavery. We know about the slave happens, everything. It's a tragedy that happened, everything, but we got to move on from being like I would say trauma bonding. It's hello.
Carla, can I ask something?
Now, let me hold on. I'm in this hotel. Let me move to Ross. Let me move to another part of the hotel so I can hear you guys respond to that. 1 second.
Dynas.
Excuse me.
Dynas, can I say something 30 seconds?
Go ahead.
last time we had this conversation, I don't remember how long ago was it. I said the almost the same thing that Kala is saying. I said it shouldn't be a tourist site. I said it should be just for people
You're saying
to come there and just reflect and meditate and do whatever they want to do of what happened there. So I agree with Carlos. I don't think it
Exactly.
should be just be a tourist site. And I said that before.
so. What I said and what you
Tourism
guys
is
see how
exploitation.
people are. See how people stay, Dynast. Sometimes you need to really make people understand. Look, what you said and what you're saying now is conflicting.
No, you pissed me off because you came and said we should knock it down, tear it
But
down.
but if you don't understand or agree,
Okay.
ask me a question. Say, well, if we knock it down, what are we doing with the land? Then we build. But you guys didn't even let me finish. I have see, the whole conversation is on destroying. Everybody have some. I'm the one that you guys all opposing. So why don't you guys give me a
Well, let
chance?
me ask you. Let me
Go on.
ask you a question, right? Okay, first of all, we didn't build those slave ports.
Yep.
It was a European who built that. You know, so
Yep.
it's nothing to celebrate. So why do we keep them there?
Like I said, as soon as I came, I said, if I had any power, I will put something there that reflect us as a people right now. Something that when you come back to those soil, that land, and you walk through, you will feel some type of energy that will charge you and put you in your proper place on this planet, than to go through that whole channel of negative energy. And then it makes you cry. You're not crying because you feel the positive energy. You're crying because it's negative, it's defeating, it's crushing. Everything negative on this planet is kept in those dungeons, and we go in there and we absorb it. That's why we're crying. That's why when you go in there, you feel small. It crushes you. You don't come back feeling
it also clear up their heart. You understand? To be in that place
It doesn't
with the
clear anything,
ancestors.
man.
Don't
It doesn't clear. That's
Okay.
the trophy for the white man.
Let me say
Those
something.
dungeons are trophy
Oh,
for the
come
white
on,
man.
man.
Hey,
Hold on.
Those are trophy for the white man, bro.
Let
Forget
Kala
it.
hold on, let Kala talk. Go ahead,
Kala,
Kala.
are you
Hold on,
African or Black American?
I need
Kala's
a
Black
couple minutes.
American.
I just want to say this. I have never seen anybody that went through the slave dungeon and everything like that I consider normal. I'm dead serious. I don't see anybody who comes to do the slave dungeons and all stuff like this and normal. They seem crushed, defeated people, and just destruct. You know, whatever. Yeah. Nothing good comes out of it. You know, and so something needs to be done. Okay, now this guy is making a mockery with the restaurant and everything like that. But when we really look at it, we make a mockery of our ancestors by going there
And twerking.
And you see
What is the difference between twerking on those monuments, or you call them monument or artifacts, than opening a restaurant, man? Come on, Dynast.
Don't put
Come on.
twerking in it, man. Come on, that's
Come on.
Yeah, but you're saying
people were
twerking. No one agreed with
twerking
that.
on it. African Americans were twerking on those places, man.
Yeah,
Come
we
on.
know that. We know that. Then what should have happened to them?
Oh
That's what I'm
What
saying.
you mean?
You can't put that in there.
They should be in jail right now, right?
Exactly. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Why even bother go with that?
I mean, why they not in jail?
You and the other man were saying about
ask the Ghanians then.
Sympathy or whatever you guys were saying, and Dinus posted it, the super chat, how Africans don't feel sympathy. Here's another man like you, African American or Black man, that's saying the same thing I was saying. And how come you guys don't say he don't have no sympathy towards you guys? He's one of you. He's recognized and realized that these places, they do not move us forward.
That was his individual position.
You agree with him.
Tens of thousands. No, I said it shouldn't be a tourist site. I said it should be a place for Black people to go and reflect on what happened. That's what I said.
Brother, let me ask you a question. You are Igbo. How come you are concerned with that dungeon and you are Igbo? You claim to be Igbo. How come you are concerned with the dungeon in Ghana?
God. Are you serious? Does it make a difference? And how do you know that my ancestors didn't come through that particular place?
No, because there's also a dungeon in
Yeah,
Lagos.
but they could have. We don't know. They could have marched all the way
But
there. You
if you did your DNA as you proclaim, it tells you what door your ancestors were stolen. So it
hold on a
tells me
second.
you haven't done your DNA yet. You are just claiming Igbo.
Hold on a second. So I'm lying.
I mean, you are lying, of course.
It's about five. It's about five different countries, bro. My DNA.
Oh
I
wow.
just said Igbo because that was the main one.
Oh, okay,
Let
okay.
Carla
So
finish what he
Okay,
came on
that's
to
all
say.
I'm saying.
Okay, let Carla
so
go ahead, Carla. Unmute yourself, Carla. Hold up. Go ahead, Carla.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this, though. I understand the historical. Okay, the first. This all started back in the 1960s, right? Back before this, where black people were going to Africa, they were going on missionary work. It was Liberia, Freetown, it was Cape Town, it was Brazzaville in the Congo and stuff like that. Black people went on a missionary Christian thing and resettlement. In the 1960s, right, there was a professor that took a group of African Americans to Ghana for the slave dungeon to reconnect with their ancestors, feel the spirit of their ancestors, and that's what began the whole thing of black people making the slave dungeons visit a central part of going to West Africa. And I think that's starting to change a little bit, because that's where it started at, right? You said, look, this is the most important monumental thing in our history. And remember, so the black people were still recovering from Jim Crow, the civil rights and stuff like that. So the idea that slavery in the movie Roots came out a decade later and stuff like that, people talk about African. Now more and more black people, African Americans and Caribbeans, are educated about the history of slavery. We understand that we discovered that we have a history before slavery. There's great kingdoms and empires in Africa before slavery, right? And so therefore, the slavery does not define our whole existence, right?
Thank you.
So some people are bypassing the slave thing, slowly bypassing it. They go to countries like Kenya, they go to countries like Egypt. They'll go to countries like Tanzania, and they're going to places like South Africa and Botswana and stuff like that. So they're connecting Africa on a different level, and that's what's changing. Now, get that is what the Mina Castle is. It turned out to be a joke. It's like, look, and not only that, most African Americans, right, come from the Congo region, Nigeria, Cameroon, and the Congo region. That's what, and the Senegambia region. Most people from the Caribbean, Jamaica, come from Ghana and Togo and Benin and whatnot. So not everybody came through Elmina Castle. There's like slave castles all around the coast of Africa, all from Senegal all the way down to Cape Town, even on the coast of Mozambique. Africans who came from
I'm really
Mozambique,
surprised that most
Madagascar.
of these guys in America are Bantus, but they are claiming Ghana. These people are they are not Bantus. I've met a lot
Hey,
of African Americans.
let Carla feel it. Let him finish.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is we have as far as like African Americans, right? We're a hodgepodge of all the different African groups. Me personally, I come from the only part of Africa I don't have any ancestry is the Senegambia region. That's the only part of Africa I don't have ancestry in. I have ancestry from Mali, from Ghana. I have ancestry from Eastern Nigeria, Cameroon, and most of my ancestors come from the Congo and Angola. And my ancestors come from the first Africans who were brought here in the 1600s. Long before other people started arriving. My ancestors
All
were the only.
Africans share DNA too. Just wanted to put that there. We're not different. Like we're separate tribes. It don't mean nothing. Our DNA are all connected. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is so. Therefore, we're like a new people. We're like a new people of different. So we can embrace all of Africa. We don't have to pinpoint one place to say, I want to be part of this one. Not, you can be part of that, but don't deny the rest of the continent. That's all I'm saying.
And Carla, just to clarify what you're saying, I keep telling like African American or black people that you don't have to pick any place on the continent because you, like, unlike me, I'm restricted to just Ghana. But you, on the other hand, you can pick and go anywhere and do whatever you want on the continent.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter what I do. Like my mind is always Ghana.
Right.
But you can do whatever you want and go wherever you want. But people just want to assign themselves to here because they did a DNA. Anywhere you find yourself, live
Yeah, you're
there,
stuck.
learn the culture, learn the language, and just live your life. That's it.
You're stuck. You can go to any country you want to. You can just learn the customs
Yeah,
and fit in if you can fit in, whatever like that. You know, that's what I do. I do right now. I choose
I
two countries.
wanna
I
ask
choose
you
is
a question,
Liberia and
Carla.
Angola. Oh,
I heard most of the biggest group that were sold were the Bantus, if I'm not mistaken. And the Bantus, we know who the Bantus are in
they were the
Africa.
strong. They were the strongest Africans. So they were
Yeah,
targeted the most.
and we Bantus are a proud people. So now I see people getting
Judah, Bantus are not a one group. Bantus are a group of people with several different tribes
Yeah,
and
but
nations and
we
everything
know
like
in
that.
Africa where the Bantus are, who the original Bantus, where they came from, where they spread, and what location of Africa they are. So most of these guys that they say they are Ghanaians, Ghanaians are not Bantus, not Nigeria, nor West Africa. So, and we know that the Bantus are the original Africans. These are the people that the older
Well,
bones
that's
that were
debatable.
discovered.
Judah, that's
The older bones. Let me finish. Let me finish. The older bones that were discovered in Kenya was they realized it came from a Bantu individual. So
What about
that's a fact.
the
I mean,
Niger civilization? On the Niger,
yeah, the Niger
they found
civilization.
evidence
I
that the
mean, I don't
civilization
care
existed
as a
like
Bantu. I
2000
don't care about
BC.
Niger civilization because the Bantu civilization was more of a bigger picture
What
than
about
the
the Nook
Niger
What's a
civilization.
Bantu?
civilization in central
What's a
Nigeria?
Bantu? You guys, what's a Bantu? What does Bantu mean?
Exactly. Ask him.
Bantu is a group of is a group of people that spread from they came from the north down to central and all the way to South Africa. It's a group of people that
The
share the
group of
common
people were
cause
labeled
that
Bantu by
share.
the Europeans. So I'm just trying to say that word Bantu. Who does it belong to? Where does it come from? The
What you mean?
group of people that
It
were
belong.
labeled Bantu was labeled by the Europeans. So the Bantu word, who does it belong to? Where does it come from?
It's an African name. Does
I
that
know
seem
that.
like
I
it's
know.
a European name? I'm asking you. Does that sound like a European name to you?
No, I never
It's
said
like
it.
me asking you
Bantu
the
just
name
means the
Ghana.
people.
Where does the name Ghana came from? It was a label put by the Europeans as well.
Yes, you're
Like all
correct.
these
No,
other
but
countries.
we know
No,
Ghana
So what
people.
is
you're
your
We know
right.
point?
Ghana people.
Even
Almighty,
We know
even
you're right.
Ghana is
even
a
even the word Africa was coined by the white
Yes,
man. So what is your
yes,
point?
yes. My
Yes,
point is, again,
I
you're
don't work here.
saying, you guys give me 1 sec, okay? You
Man,
guys give me 1
you
Yeah, I
sec.
look
full of
like him,
shit,
man.
man. You
I
full
try
of
to give
shit,
respect
bro.
to people.
Go
Almighty,
focus on Ghana, man.
listen, emotions need to be toned down, please. I'm just trying to learn from you, okay? All I know is, if I'm wrong, then you correct me. Everybody says Bantu, and I know,
Bro,
based on the,
focus on West. Bantu, you are not Bantu. You don't know nothing
I
about
never
Bantu.
said I
Focus on
was.
your Ghana and West Africa,
That's why
bro.
I want
Bantus
to
are
learn
more
from you.
superior than you have been in Ghana. So
I don't know,
we
so I
are
want to learn from you.
yeah.
Judah, calm down.
Go do your own research, man.
But
Jay,
I
do
want
they
to
have a
learn
lot
from
of
you.
Bantu in Nigeria? Jay, do they have a lot of
Dynasty,
Bantu in
No,
Nigeria?
sometimes you need to let
you
people
don't have
know when they are
Bantus in
talking
Nigeria,
bullshit.
man. The Igbo people are not Bantus. The Yoruba are not Bantus, but the
Oh,
Bantus are the original people of Africa. And
oh,
you can go and read about their history. They have a rich history than all these African guys talking about. Oh, these are the Akan and Ashantis and whatever.
well,
No,
most of the people them that were enslaved have Nigerian ancestry.
That's what you think. But I've met a lot of people that have Bantus ancestry from
No,
Congo,
I'm not saying
Angola,
there's none.
Cameroon,
I'm
and all
just
these
saying
places.
No,
every
Almighty, you're not going to teach
That's you.
me
You
about
are making
Bantu.
a point that doesn't make sense. You are just saying, but that's not the fact. I've met a lot of people that had all these other ancestry as well.
yeah, there's not Dynast. Do you know anybody that did their ancestry that don't have no percentage of Nigerians?
You can have percentage, but the Bantu, I'm not saying they don't have it, but they also have Bantus and
Well, that's what
ancestry
I
and
ask you.
all whatever you think.
I ask you if there's any Bantu in Nigeria ever. That's what I
I
ask
don't
you.
know if but I don't believe they have Bantus in Nigeria, but I
All right,
believe
fellas,
there's
I gotta go. Peace. See y'all later. Good
I
night,
believe
guys.
I believe there are Bantus that have spilled over, but they don't have a particular tribe in Nigeria that is dominantly Bantu. But you claim you are Igbo, so the Igbos are not Bantus. Now this guy was talking about the Bantu word. The word Bantu came about because it was a conglomeration of tribes and the people in this part of Africa. Because most of these tribes in Central and let me finish in Central and South. If you listen to their tribes, you will understand that the word Ba, B-A, you go to Bakongo. These are tribes that were known in West, in Central Africa, the Bakongo, the Bamilekes, all
What
these,
does that mean?
let me finish. So because of these tribes that they call Ba, it was a conglomeration, and I just say, wow, so they have so many Bas in their tribe. So the word Bantu came about. Ba means the people, and Intu is a language. So the Ba are a people that speak the Intu language. So if you go to Central and Southern Africa, you will find a lot of tribes that you will have Ba in there. Like you go to Uganda, you have Bagandas. These are the people, and the Ganda is like their language. So that's how you can explain what the Bantu is. Go ahead.
And where are you from, please?
I'm a Cameroonian, bro.
Oh, okay. So
I thought the Cameroon and Nigerian was basically correlated with the same people.
Yeah, no, we are not correlated, bro. We are different.
All Africans are the same people.
There's no
we are not the
in
same
Cameroon.
people, bro. Africans are not the same. Africa is a continent. We are not the same people, man.
We
Come on,
from the same source.
A Fulani person is different from a Bantu person. You cannot say all Africans are the same people. You cannot use that.
Almighty,
okay, Judah, let me help you.
Go ahead.
Let me help. Thank you. Let me help Judah. Don't forget, some of the Southern Nigerians are not originally Bantu, but they have Bantu admixture. The word Bantu itself is just a myth, to be honest. Yeah, it's not. There's no real. If you go back, we are mainly like Niger Congo people. Obviously, in some part of Nigeria, you got the Akpabio and different. If you look at the whole DNA and the patterns of West Africa, and obviously, majority of West Africa is Mande. It's a Mande pattern. These are blacks from Sudan who came and married, your sisters from Congo, who came to settle along the coast over the years. That's what West African people are. West African people are people of different admixture, and those in the further south where you have Cameroon today, they tend to have less admixture, due to less exposure and also geography. But to say we're different, in genetics, that's just not true.
That's where my whole concern is.
That's where exactly. I agree with you, Royal Image. To see we're different genetically,
from the same mother and father. Yeah. We start from the same source.
That's right. Yes.
I just don't.
Over the years, we just go.
But a Bantu is different from a Nilotic, though. A Bantu is different from a Nilotic. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem.
Can we have a flow conversation, please? Delroy, you was gonna say something.
I was just gonna ask Al. I was just wondering because Nigeria and Cameroon was not Nigeria and Cameroon back then. With a land so close to each other, how could we be that much different?
It's very interesting. But okay, let me. Is that for you, Judah?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer it. I mean, how is that much different? I mean, now you want to assume that there was no African countries back in the days, and then instead of saying that Ghana, this and that, there were no countries. But now, what is the difference? Let me finish. Back in the days, there was a lot of tribal wars in Africa. Let me finish. Back in the days, there was a lot of tribal wars in Africa. Bro, stay quiet. Back in the days, there were a lot of tribal wars in Africa. If you go into the history, you find out that a lot of empires, you talk of the Kanem Borno and all these other places, were fighting other smaller tribes and capturing them. So, but when it came to Bantus, the Bantus were strong because they came in their numbers when they were defeated, when the Fulani took over northeastern African, say Sudan and all these places. The Bantus descended down south in Central Africa. So when they came down, they came in their numbers. They're not actually part of that Central Africa or Cameroon as we speak. But they came from.
That's what we said.
Why? They are not actually. Let me finish. bro, let me finish.
Okay.
We did not come from the West. They are not actually part of that Cameroon originally as we speak, but they came there and found some of those lands. So when they came there, they also had wars with neighboring tribes in Nigeria,
So
and all these other places.
And you guys
So
ran.
people have intermarried. Go
so
ahead.
let me ask something. When they came, hold on. When you came, when the Bantus came, they don't like women. They didn't have any women. They didn't mix.
That's what I'm telling you. There have been a lot of admixtures in certain
That's
places.
what I'm
Some of
saying.
them
So
have
you
been.
mixed up.
So, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. But majority of them descended down south instead of extending west. They descended
They're
down
right.
south
Because
during
that's where they
They're
migration
right.
went.
We
period.
That's where you
push.
guys went to
They're
the
right.
weekend
They're right.
tribe
Listen
and
now.
messed them up.
Real
Huh?
image. Real image. Listen, we push them further down. Judah is right. Because
Yeah,
what
they
you don't
couldn't mess with
understand.
West Africans. We push them
Nah,
out
they
of there.
couldn't. We have to push them. Yeah, we have
They
to push
ran
them
to the
further
weekend
down.
neighbors in the south.
But now there's a difference between semi-Bantus and original Bantus. Semi-Bantus are people that have mixed with other tribes, and original
Yes, we
Bantus
do.
are people that have kept their originality from time being without mixing with other tribes or intermarriage. So
Right.
yeah.
So no, you kind of making some point when you brought up the Ghanian Borno days and different days. Even if
Come
you
on,
go to southern
you know that I
Nigeria.
know that African history to my fingertip, man. I sleep with it. I studied it.
I
I grew up in that.
won't go that far. I won't go that far today. But you're so far so good. But yeah, during the Borno, that was a lot of obviously people are moved further down south to that territory and also intermarriage and mixed with the Bantus, and the flow between the east and the west become very regular. And basically, if you look at the Central African Republic, it's a very similar trend that's going on today, where you have the, is that the Balaka, whatever they call them? They're more like
Yeah, the
Sudanic,
Balaka and
Nilotic.
the Balaka are
Yeah,
like the Saudi and the Fulani people,
yeah.
Yeah.
Who actually are putting pressure on that part of the world, pushing them further down. I don't know how far,
I'll come
if
and
it's been
capture Central African Republic so you guys can expand Sierra Leone, man. Sierra Leone is so small, and you guys can use Central African Republic for agricultural lands, man. A lot of people are coming into Sierra Leone. You guys want to take all African Americans into Sierra Leone. Where are you guys going to live, man? You guys will be going hungry soon when those lands getting occupied already,
No, we have to because West Africa is a dead end, right? So we have to go back and actually push further down south. Unfortunately, it was, but you also the Bantu went further down south. Don't forget that, like Shaka Zulu, he done a lot of expansion in the further south, right?
Exactly. That I met a Gambian guy, and the Gambian guy was crying that a lot of African Americans are coming into Gambia, and Gambia is a small country now. They don't actually have homelands and all these lands. They are taking over.
What's a lot of African Americans? Like what, 50?
Yeah, I mean, this guy was. I mean, on a panel that I was on, this guy was saying that African Americans have taken the whole Banjul, their town. Places have, houses have become.
I think
Homes have become
wants you to come
expensive.
to his
Let me
country.
finish, man. Come on. I'm
You guys
making a
go to his
statement.
country. He wants you guys to come to his country.
No. Bro. Even Ghana is not even up to a state in Cameroon. I mean, we don't need. Look, man, we have a trouble in Cameroon, and we are not calling for people to come in. We have problems on our own. We want to fix things in Cameroon. We are not calling for people to come in, bro. We have one of the fertile lands in Africa. We eat healthy. We don't want to share with nobody.
Why is that?
No, but Judah, you're sharing that with us, though. Huh?
I mean,
you're sharing that with us,
no, we're not sharing it with nobody.
He's just been on his
you are sharing it with us. Right?
We're not sharing it with nobody.
I thought a lot of Nigerians live in Cameroon.
No, they do.
Bro, what is your problem with Nigeria and Cameroon, man? I mean, you should focus on Ghana and Ivory Coast. I mean, those are neighboring countries. I mean, Nigeria and Cameroon are neighboring countries, man.
Anyway, Judah, you've been talking, and let me just come in a little bit. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, today we all are the same people genetically. We might have Bantu, Mande, Akpabio, blah, 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 blah. Us African children, we all one people. Genetically, we are the same. But geographically, it depends on where you live and and the time and place and history, and it depends on the invasion, because we were always exposed to invasion, especially us, the far west and the northwest, from being invaded by the Arabs, and different, the Amazigh, obviously Berbers, different race over the years. So we have different admixture in us compared to you further down, in the forest, if you want to call it that way. But to say, yeah. Make it quick.
Sorry, I want to address one guy on the chat that is talking about Cameroon is one of the most underdeveloped country in Africa. From his name, I can tell he's from Senegal, called Park V. I mean, come on. Cameroon just hosted the African Cup of Nations a few years ago. One of these stadiums in Cameroon can buy the whole Senegal. This guy should stop talking nonsense, man. I mean, calling Cameroon and come on. It's just a call for consent. It just doesn't make sense.
All right, okay, that's fine. But the reality is, what we're trying to say is, us West African, Central West, we're very similar. We also in the West, some of us got mixed with Nilotic people, even though we're not Nilotic. Some of you obviously gonna mix, like for example, the Yorubas are mixed with some of us in the West Africans, far region, yeah. We're closely related. If you look at the Yorubas, they look more like us in the far West than they actually look, like their neighbors, right? So it's just life, it's just genetics. You can't change that. The only thing we need to stay away from is trying to find labels that divide us, because that's not going to help us in the long run.
Right? I'm just trying to find out. Are you like those Hebrew Israelites? Are you one of them?
I'm not Hebrew, man. I'm a Bantulite, bro. I'm a Bantulite. The Bible was written on the Bantu people.
Oh God! Here we go.
Diners, hold on. They took the Bantu. They took the Bantu history and put it in the Bible and changed all the actors into white people. The Bible was written on the Bantu. Come on, man.
Judah,
come on.
Stop it.
So no, basically, I'm not an Israelite, but
questions.
Yeah, wait, Dennis is saying something. Yes, Dennis.
Oh man, the Bantu.
No, I know Diners. I know what Diners wanted to say, but
wait, let the man speak.
That sounds like a beer. Bantu Light. It sounds like a beer.
It's a Bantu Light, man. If you read about the Bible, take out those white actors in it and just believe that those guys are the Bantus. That's what Bantu Light is. The whole Bible was written on the Bantu people.
So why they have all this white Jesus in Cameroon and Nigeria and all those places?
Yeah, because the white man got it. That's what I'm saying. The white man took the Bantus history, they took their story and turned it into a white story. And that's why they came up with the Bible.
I asked the man a question. I'm just trying to learn. I've never heard him speak about Judah.
Stop winding him up. Royal Image, stop winding the man up, please.
So, you read the Bible?
No, I don't read the Bible, man. Why should I read the Bible? The Bible is my own story.
No, I'm not arguing.
I mean, you don't get it, man. What I'm saying is the story that you find in the Bible is what we actually practice. The Bible is my own story. Why should I read the Bible? These are things that we did it in the past. Okay. So why should I read it? It's like you reading your own story. It makes no sense.
Again, I don't like dealing with emotion. We're men here. I'm sure everybody's in close to 30 or above.
Yeah, but you have no clue what you're talking about. You should focus on your Ghana, bro. When it comes to Bantu and other things, you don't talk on
learn
it.
From you. Okay.
I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, the only person that have an IQ of knowing what we talking is Al. He knows about Nilotic and all these other tribes. Go and focus on Ekan and Ashantis.
So can I ask you a question or not?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna go in one-way conversation with you.
Again, if I don't know what you're talking about,
I'm not. I mean, you're not gonna box me in and ask me questions. You know the professor or something.
If you know what you're talking about.
But Judah,
go ahead.
You do look like a Senegalese, though. Even though you say you're Bantu.
Well, I'm a pure Bantu guy from Cameroon, bro. I have nothing to do with West, man. I mean, let me finish. We Bantus consider ourselves as being superior to other Africans on the continent, and that's You know. Look, man, we fought. Let me finish. This guy is running his mouth. We fought the Fulanis to the extreme. When the Fulanis were descent, if it wasn't for the Bantu, the Fulanis will have taken the whole Ghana and all these countries in Sierra Leone and all these places combined. The Bantus fought them hard, and that was why the Fulani or the Muslim religion did not spread all the way down south, because the Bantus fought and stopped them.
So
that's why you see South African.
I'm trying to get a clear picture in my mind. On the map.
Do you know that, so how did the Fulani manage to get to Namibia then? Because they're there.
No, they are not Fulanis in Namibia. Those ones are just cattle wearers. You know, they are not actually Fulanis.
Where was the Fulani coming from to come to Ghana? I'm just trying to get a clear picture in my mind. You're saying if without the Bantu, the Fulani would have conquered all the way into present-day Ghana, and I'm saying where did the Bantu people originate from, and where were you guys fighting them to prevent them from entering what we call Ghana today?
Man, go and read about Usman Danfodio and Modibo Adama. These are the Fulanis, the Lord. Yeah, I mean, you are laughing because you have no clue about history.
People don't know, and they're just going to listen to you. I'm not one of those people. I've been on this for 25 years. I know what
Ghana are neighbors. We never had those sort of I don't think we ever tried to conquer Ghana, to be honest, because these people.
Oh yeah.
Judah, how much Bantu they have in approximately how much they have in Cameroon?
Oh, they don't have a lot in Cameroon. I think we only have 20%. We have over 256 tribes in Cameroon as we speak. But the Bantus are not. I mean, we probably have like say maybe 50 tribes that are Bantus, but they are not majority in the country because, like I said, there was mass migration. Go and read about the mass migration of the Bantus. You know, most of them went all the way down south to Congo. Congo DRC have one of the biggest Bantus in Africa, and then you have South Africa, you know, Botswana, all these other, you know, part of East Africa, Kenya. Yeah, yep. So,
see, us West African, most of our mothers are Congolese. So our mothers are Bantu. Yeah, this is what you don't understand. It's our fathers that came from Sudan. But our mothers
you're a Fulani guy. You are not. I mean, you're a Fulani guy from Sierra Leone.
Fulani came from Sudan, just like Mandinka, just like most of the Mande group came from Sudan.
Yeah, but you guys were the middlemen between the Muslim or the Arab North or the light-skinned Arabs and the Bantus. You guys were the one that were interpreting the Muslim religion to the white Arabs in North Africa. You know.
You mean the Tuareg? They're not Arabs.
Yeah, the Tuareg. You guys were the same like the Tuareg. The Tuareg just happened to be, you know, the ones that are of the.
I think you're mistaking us to the Kanuris, Judah.
Yeah, but I mean Fulanis and I mean, I'm talking based on the Muslim religion. I'm not talking based on the tribes. I'm talking based on the religion that they were spreading. You guys were intermediaries.
I'm Judah. You on that bullshit, Judah. Listen, we're gonna close out. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Until next time, family. Search for who.
Peace and love.
It's a bit.